Well, hello. Well, hello there. All right. All righty then. So, here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to get started with some replays here in just a moment. And Jenkins will be joining us a little bit later. He's having some issues with his bank, and he's talking to them. So he'll be here shortly. In the meantime, I will be doing these replay reviews solo. So if you don't like me, then I apologize, but you're gonna have to learn to like me, because I'm all you got. I'm all you've got. That's what I meant. Okay. Anyway, that was awkward enough. 1 second here, boys. What's up, Jorge? How are you? All right, so the very first one that we're gonna do is a replay that we missed last week, that I promised I would do very first this time, which is the Zuck. And he is playing a Weaver. And let me see what he said about this. Gotta spend those shards. I mean, what do I spend them on? I don't play any of the other heroes that have sets, and I think that the relics are pretty boring. So I'm just holding on to them in case there's a set that I really like that comes out. That's how's I'm gonna do it, okay? That's how's it's gonna be done. Let's see. How not to tilt. Just don't do it. Love yourself. Put more focus on playing good Dota and being happy in your life than on your MMR wins and losses. Simple as that, and as complicated as that. Okay. Anyway, he didn't give me any real notes about this, so we're just going to take a look at this. This is actually great because I just played a Weaver match and I pooped on the other team. It was pretty fun. You can see 27,000 hero damage. Got lots of kills. Felt pretty good. So we're going to look at his Weaver match and we can compare the two of us. All right. So hopping into this one. Do we start straight off on the metaphysical questions? I mean, that's just It's just standard for this channel at this point, you know? Just that's how it goes. That's how it goes. That is how she goes, fellas.
Your turn to ban.
Alright, so we are playing Weaver Safe Lane.
Prepare for battle.
First things first.
Don't worry, lads.
I'm actually I'm not totally sure what the best build is on Weaver. I need to look at like Paparazzi to see what he's starting out with. I've been starting out with 4 branches pretty much every time. And I kind of like how that feels. It just gives you, you know, not quite as much in terms of stats, but it gives you more stats overall. So you have more mana pool, which is really good for Weaver because Shikuchi has been nerfed quite a bit to be more mana intensive. Gives you more HP. Good because Weaver's HP pool is pretty low. And so, and then you also get the 4 damage from the branches. So I usually go 6 tangos, and then I go for 4 branches. And then if I need to get a wand, sometimes I'll just go straight for that. And other times I will get the starting of a Wraithband and also a Mango. Anyway, I think the starting items are fine. I just, personal preference. Okay, so let's go back here. Weaver is a great hero to steal bounties, so come over here. You go a little early. You aren't able to steal it. That's fine. At least you went for it. And you are able to get at least yours, so that's fine. Now, we've got ourselves a Kunkka offlane and a Pudge. Okay, so let's go ahead and check their items, because that's the first thing that we should do. I haven't noticed you do that yet, so... Holy shit, this guy started with a bottle. Okay, so this guy has no regen left, essentially, once the bottle's empty, which means that you should be hitting the shit out of him. Kunkka only has 3 tangos as well, so this is actually a very easy lane for you to win based off of regen and the fact that they're 2 melee heroes. Now, the only thing in this lane that's really important is that you need to not take too much harass. Obviously, the Pudge hook is going to take about a third of your HP, and Kunkka with Tidebringer could be very annoying for you. So, if we actually look at this particular game, I would say that Lincoln's is really good for you this game. So I would probably focus, because you're against a Kunkka, on getting a Ring of Health pretty quickly. We'll see what you end up doing. But yeah, as we can see, you get hooked and it's like actually half your HP, which is ridiculous. But it's the Pudge hook and that's how it goes. Okay, so you buy component for Wraithbands. Go ahead and speed through this a little bit. Like you're dodging the Tidebringers relatively well. Kunkka kill, so that's good. I will say that don't be afraid to use your Shikuchi to secure last hits. You know, if a last hit is getting low, then, you know, okay, so right there you do. Now, here's a major problem. So, we know that we're playing against Kunkka in lane. We know that we have a lot of harass potentially coming at us. And we sent out the courier with just a Wraithband, and we did not send any more regen. We should have sent at least another set of tangos and a salve, if not 2 sets of tangos and a salve. And the reason for that is basically you are stuck in a situation where you pretty much cannot dodge this. Okay, it's not something you can dodge. just by Shikuching, you're going to take the damage anyway. So you're pretty much just going to be eating harass like all the time. And the higher level this guy gets, the worse it's going to be for you. So you need more regen is the main thing. And playing this lane without more regen is going to make it incredibly hard, like way too hard for you. When I say way too hard, I mean you have an opportunity for this to be a pretty easy lane, and you're not taking it. I also think you should get the Swarm at level 4. So I would go 1-1. And that's just because Kunkka's a hero with pretty low armor. The Swarm is completely underrated in how effective it is at making people unable to trade with you. And so I think that... And Pudge, 0 armor, dude. Like, if you get the Swarm on this guy just completely feeds. So I'm not sure why you're so far away from the creep wave at the moment, or scared to use Shikuchi. I guess you're going to head to the shrine, but you're missing a huge amount of last hits here. Like a full creep wave that's just completely ignored for whatever reason. And you're already kind of behind in levels. And now you're very indecisive about what you should be doing because this guy's getting chased. So you need to be more decisive with what you're doing. You need to have more regen in this lane. And I assume you're probably going to try and kill this Pudge. We'll see how it goes. You should be able to get it. You do. But here, if you had the Swarm, I think you could Swarm this guy and potentially chase him down. But you don't have enough damage without it. Okay, so 17-6 at 6 minutes. This is pretty low in terms of CS. But a lot of that comes down to just kind of mechanics, practicing with Weaver. Weaver isn't the easiest hero to last hit with. He's got kind of a big windup, and his projectile speed is pretty slow also. So you have to just get a little bit more used to playing Weaver, I would say, to get better at last hitting with him. And also, of course, like right there, you could have Shikuchi'd for that last hit. And that's completely acceptable to use this spell to get last hits. All right, so let's go ahead and skip to like 20 minutes. I want to see how this game is progressing. We've got... Okay, we went Treads, 2 Wraithbands, Maelstrom, into a Perseverance. And that seems pretty decent to me. I think that in this game, I would probably prefer to go for a Midas over the Maelstrom. And the reason for that is because you're playing up against an Arc Warden, Shadow Fiend, both of which are heroes that can flash farm really hardcore. They're going to both go for... Or Arc Warden's definitely going for a Midas. He's going to go for this late game oriented build. They're going to try and take it late game. And you have a sniper on your team who is also going to try and take it late game. So Midas is going to pay off like crazy for you. And you have this 35% EXP gain talent. Zoilberts. Jenkins is currently on the phone with somebody, and he will be here in a little bit. So for now, you get me. Anyway, so I would go Midas on this hero in this particular matchup. It's going to allow you to get to your upper level talents very quickly. And then as far as itemization, I think you should probably be looking to go for a MKB as like your first damage item. I think I would potentially look at something like... See, the thing about this is you're actually pretty susceptible to being bursted, so having some more stats is going to be really big for you. I think I would like to see something like maybe a Dragon Lance, like Midas Dragon Lance into your Lincolns. And then you have enough damage, I think, still even with that to sustain for this part of the game because you have the Geminate attack damage. You've got the Swarm, and you have Shikuchi, and like you've got quite a bit of damage on your team. So I wouldn't be too worried about damage in the early portions of the game, especially considering that none of these people have built anything tanky whatsoever, except for the Dragon Lance and Shadow Fiend. So you shouldn't have any problem with damage, and I think that being more tanky on Weaver is a huge deal, especially when you're looking at pretty strong disables and the burst from Shadow Fiend and Kunkka as well. So That would probably be my itemization path. Now, you're TPing to the bottom lane for some reason. I'm not totally sure why. We go back. Was anything actually happening? Okay, this guy's being gone on. And then you TP after your Earthshaker dies. So that doesn't make any sense. Especially because you're a carry. Here's the thing about carry is you really want to make sure that if you are TPing to a fight before you have all of your items to be strong, that you are basically guaranteed to get at least a kill and a tower out of it. Or defend one of your own towers. That's really important. Like a mid tower or like a tier 3. Other than that, you should just be very focused on farming. Like, there's no reason for you not to be pushing this creep wave. Especially with so many people showing. And the fact that they just go for this pick off and then back off, I mean, it just doesn't really... This rotation is just wasting you a whole lot of time. And you're a hero that doesn't farm that fast, so time is very important to you. And that's another reason why I think Midas is good, because you're a hero that doesn't flash farm very well. So... as you can see, that TP just allows the Shadow Fiend to come up here and freely push this in, which means that you get no map vision over in this area of the map, which is, you know, pretty important to make them show themselves and respond to defending this tower. It's allowing Shadow Fiend to just kind of roam your jungle. And that's all just because you decided to TP to a fight that wasn't even happening. So I would say make some better... practice judging fights a little bit more, a little bit quicker. You know, actually spend the time considering, if I TP to this fight, can I actually contribute something, or am I just going to feed? Okay, so let's go to 30 minutes. We now have our Lincolns, we have our Dragonlance, we've got our Maelstrom. So... you're pretty good. You've got decent damage. You went for the Mono Break talent and the Swarm Attacks to Kill. Those are both pretty standard talents. They're good this game. Uh-oh. You should be fine. Right there. I would actually consider just time-lapsing before. I know that might be a little aggressive, but your team is kind of coming in. Like the comes off. If you time lapse, you're back here. No, that's actually a bad idea. Okay, so never mind. This is fine. You're running away, but I wouldn't just leave. I would kind of stick around. Like, you have a shrine here. Your team is coming in. You'd like them to fight you on the shrine, if possible, especially once the double goes away. And you have vision of all of this happening, so good. You do stay around. It's also fine. But now you have 5 heroes farming this area of the map. I would not do this. I would not farm these jungle camps with 5 heroes around me. I would just immediately either TP to the other side of the map, or I would walk there and start pushing this in. You guys need some pressure. The fact that it's 31 minutes in, you haven't taken the safe lane tier 1 is a travesty. This is the easiest tower in the entire game to take. Radiant tier 1 bottom. And this should automatically be dead. Every single game. But anyway, let's see if we can find a team fight. TP back to defend because we lose our sniper. Playing very defensively on the Weaver. Like, defending your base constantly, it feels like. Kill the Arc Warden, so that's really good. Playing Weaver pretty well, being aggressive. Again, I just want to point this out. So you farm the Ancient Camp. The creep wave is here. And then you go farm this camp. I don't like this at all. I think that you need to come here and need to push this wave. This camp is worth way less than these creeps. It's also worth way less than those creeps in terms of the vision and map control that it gives you. And if you push this out, then suddenly you have access to maybe kill this tower. Also, there's 2 bounties right here. This is unacceptable. You're right next to the bounties. You always have to keep an eye on 35, 45, 40. 20, 10, etc. These bounties should never just be left like that. You're right next to them. And it looks like you're just kind of reacting to stuff that's going on elsewhere. And it basically takes no time. I mean, sure, the bounties are up now. So there's no excuse to not go grab these. Although that being said, you don't have a TP on you, so you aren't able to get to this fight. So killing this guy. Pick up the Aegis. Able to get the rush. How do we die there? Okay. We get rush. We have Lincolns. Is there a sentry? There is no sentry from the Dire. Or from the Radiant. Okay, killing Kunkka. Killing Roche, picking up the Aegis. You don't have Shikuchi yet. Go for the time lapse. They immediately Orchid you afterwards. Kind of unfortunate. That's just how she goes. That guy completely whiffs the Requiem. So you're out. Yeah, that was fine. I would remember that these are still here. I would probably go whoop, swoop those up. Again, we're at 36 minutes. This tower's taking no more damage. And back up the bounty and walk back up here. So I don't know. I feel like if you see that they're marching down mid, you may just want to come over here. Like, using this doesn't make any sense. You have vision of them. I would just try and bug their wave. Bugging their wave is a really big deal. It's going to keep it back. You bug their wave, you Shikuchi through, you try and pull the catapults away from your base. Because if you keep the creep wave, like right here, then they have no way of actually sieging you. Instead, you prioritize getting your Scotty, pick him the bounty, instead of pulling the creep wave, which would have saved your racks, which I assume you're going to lose here because you don't have any of your heroes. Okay.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So, right here, Shikuchi in. Don't have it up. So this has happened like 3 or 4 times in this game where you Shikuchi in aggressively just to like move a little bit closer to somebody, and then it ends up getting you killed.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Like, it's off of cooldown. Do you really need this to close the gap? This guy's not going anywhere. I think that you can just kind of walk up to him and start hitting him. Like, this is not, you know, like, there's really no reason to gap close like that, I don't think. You don't know that this guy's coming, so it's not your fault. But right here, again, I would probably just go ahead and walk up to him. Because let's be honest, you know that this guy has an Orchid. He's used it on you like 3 times already. So why are you putting yourself in a position where you actually can't disengage? It just doesn't make any sense. And you also should know that time-lapse has a cast point. So it takes a little bit of time to go off. Which means that it's not fast enough to deal with Hex. And that is really important because this is going to get you killed if you go in without Shikuchi, because Shikuchi is instant. And if you Shikuchi when the shaman shows up and he Lincolns you, then you're able to get like over here and he's unable to get a disable off on you. But as a result, you die with no buyback because you just finished your Scotty when you knew that they were pushing down the mid lane. And you probably just lost your team the game by doing that. Like, all of your other heroes were coming back up. You try to defend by yourself against 3 heroes. Like, literally 10 seconds before everybody else in your team was up. And you did so with no buyback, and you did so in a super dangerous way. So that's how you lost this game. And you just need to be a little bit more cognizant about your decision making. Why am I doing something? Is this actually dangerous? Is this risky in the moment? Can I afford to die here? And if the answer is no, then play very, very carefully. Like, if you concede this Rax, I can't believe they didn't finish this. If you concede this Rax and you are alive there, then you guys have a complete chance to take a fight right afterwards. But you're dead, and they take 2 range Rax. For some reason they didn't focus the melee. Okay. Anyway, that's about it for this replay. What the? Alright, boys. Got an update. What do I think about BKB this game? I mean, you shouldn't need it, but if your action time is relatively slow, then you should buy one. Sir, is Kunkka worth spamming? Sure. Play it mid. Been winning a lot. People below like 4K have no idea how to deal with Kunkka. Nope, no Mars. Sad life. Okay, we're going on to the next replay. This is going to be by Adifex, the Beardbarian. What a guy. It's going to be a mid Zeus. Tough game. Lane could have gone better, but it was an unfavorable matchup. Curious what I could have done better here versus Sniper. What could I have done later to get a win here also? Right? Very broad question. But you know what? Here at Dota Alchemy, this is the kind of stuff that we do for you guys. Holy shit, 100. An hour and 25 minutes. I don't have time to watch this whole game. Moonshards and everybody. Where's your Moonshard, dude? Don't you want to be cool like the rest of the people in this game? Tisk, tisk. It is a techies game. What pick did you take, Zeus? 5th pick, okay. Spamming Lycan is viable. If you're good at Lycan, absolutely. That hero's really good all the time. Until they take away how quickly he kills towers, he's always viable.
Your turn to ban.
All right. So you said that this is a unfavorable matchup, which I tend to disagree with. I don't think that it's that unfavorable. I feel like you can just push the wave into Sniper's face and then harass him under the tower while he has to tank creeps, or you can just push the wave and then jungle. Both of which are viable ways to win the lane. Okay, so he blocks better than you in this one. I'm also curious why you don't just go ahead and place this ward. You could have run up here and placed it. I personally really like to place the ward right here. Unless I feel like there's a better ganking hero in the bottom lane, in which case I'll place it like right here. But one of those 2 places should be warded so that you can have eye on the rune, because you are a hero that absolutely needs to have a bottle, and you have it queued up, which is good. But to have the bottle, you should also have rune control. And you spent about 45 seconds standing here waiting for the lanes to start. So that time could have been used to place your rune control ward. Fortunate uphill miss when you're standing right next to the creep. As far as using lightning bolt in the lane, I think I would probably not. Oh, and also I should talk about your starting build. I don't like this. Null Talisman first makes no sense on Zeus because you don't really right-click to get CS, especially not in this matchup. You should be using your Arc Lightning to push the wave and to get CS all the time. Sure, it only does 70 damage, but guess what? Sniper's base damage is 51, so you should be able to last hit all of the creeps with your Arc Lightning. And to use your Arc Lightning all the time, you need to have a bunch of Clarities. Clarities are a little bit harder to use against snipers, so you could also potentially go for a bunch of mangoes. One of those two things should be happening, and if you need some extra stats, which maybe you do, I would probably just get a couple branches and then like maybe 2 clarities and a couple of mangoes, and that would be my starting items. You don't need the extra int to start out. Okay, so you place the ward, and here's the problem with placing this ward now is just like he's seen you with the ward in his inventory, presumably, if he actually clicked on you. So now he knows that it's been placed like pretty recently. I suppose you probably could get by with a couple of mangoes to get you to your bottle. But yeah, Null Talisman doesn't make any sense. You could even, to be honest, you could literally just go like 2 branches to use your tangos with. Then you could go like 2 mangoes and that's it, and save the rest of your gold and get your bottle within like the first creep wave. That advice is just plain wrong. You can very well CS with right clicks as Zeus against Sniper. Yeah, if you want to just get punched in the face from like a million range away the entire time. Your right click is trash. I mean, it does more damage than it used to, but it is definitely like, look at this. Do you want to do this? Absolutely fucking not. You want to be Arc Lightning the wave. Okay. So, unfortunate. The rune spawn is bottom. And we can see that you just don't have any mana. So, you know, that kind of sucks. Because it's really hard for you to get last hits without any mana. Alright, now you actually have 0 mana. And you might legitimately just be dead here. Making this rotation to get the rune in the bottom doesn't make any sense unless you have your bottle. Because it's too far away. The lane is going to be... I mean, this lane is lost at this point. Because Sniper's going to be ahead of you by the time you get back to it. And you're just giving up a bunch of CS and experience that's incredibly important in the early game. And basically what's happening when you make this rotation to go to the bottom lane, you are basically taking a 25% chance that it's a regen, because that's actually the only rune that helps you. And so if you are... it's like a 25% chance that your lane is saved and a 75% chance that you just lose the lane by making that play. Completely ignoring the fact that you died to the techies there. So it's just an inherently risky play that is not going to pay off most of the time. Okay, and so you're leveling up Lightning Bolt. You know what? I think that's fine, I guess, for trading. I think that it's also totally viable to go a second point in Arc, just because you are going to be hitting the sniper all the time. It doesn't increase the mana cost. It just increases the damage a little bit. I don't hate going an extra point in Arc, but you can also just level up Lightning Bolt. That's totally fine. God damn, we need our bottle really badly. Alright, and also, so you were in base, you died, you were in base, and you brought no mana regen with yourself out to the lane. So, yes, you're trying to rush the bottle, but the fact that you came back to the lane with no mana regen, I mean, look at this. You've used all of your spells. What are you supposed to do now? Like, you can't threaten him. You have no mana. You have to just right-click to last hit. Like, just spend the extra 100 gold on a couple of clarities, or 140 gold on a couple of mangoes, so you can actually get your bottle. Because right now, you're having a really hard time actually doing anything in this lane. It's just so far away. And that's, you know, you could have had your bottle, like, 2 minutes ago. And you can see how difficult it's making this lane for you. So, yeah, that's about enough about the laning stage, I would say. use your spells more, prioritize the bottle, don't go to the rune unless you have a bottle, because otherwise you're just making a really bad guessing game. You're playing a really bad guessing game. Please be a regen. And if it's not a regen, then you're just completely screwed. Okay. Also, I would consider just, again, shoving this wave and then just jungling this camp over and over. Okay. I would also definitely have a point, at least 1 point in static field. I think I would almost consider going like 2 points in arc, 4 points in lightning bolt, and maxing static field, because this is going to give you a lot of damage in the long run. Guys, relax. You absolutely need to right-click creeps as Zeus. Yes, you do. But against a sniper, if you have the option to use a lot of mana, that's better most of the time. Because sniper is going to outtrade you like all of the time. So yeah, this sniper is completely fucking owning you. And you can see you're only at 38 last hits. So I'm not totally sure how you're in this spot with only 38 last hits at 15 minutes. But my guess is that you're just spending a lot of time trying to fight even though you don't have any items. And I think that right now it's very important that you just like jungle your way to an Aghanim Scepter as quickly as possible. Or at the very least an Aether Lens. The 3 Null Talismans is okay. I think you could probably get away with 2. But you absolutely desperately need to have an Aether Lens at this point in the game. Because it's going to keep you safe from stuff like Ravage, from CMs, Disable. It's going to allow you to potentially outrange the sniper. And not having Aether Lens is basically a death sentence to Zeus because he's so low mobility. So he has to be able to hit from far away. I also think I would consider getting like a Force Staff. Like, had this game gone a little bit better, I think the build probably would be to go like Aether Lens, Force Staff, Ags, something like that. Because you're so low mobility, like you pretty much have to have some sort of mobility. Blink Dagger's really good on Zeus for that reason, and if it was just against the Pangolier, I'd probably get a Blink, because you can always see him coming and blink away. But because there's Shrapnel from Sniper, Ravage is really big, CM's ulti is really big, you randomly get clipped by a mine. I think Force Staff is probably your item here, but you have to have some sort of mobility on this hero, otherwise you just feed like relentlessly. Alright, so let's see what you do next. You go right back into another fight. We just talked about this. You need to go farm. You have no items. Like, you're a hero, you can contribute from far away. It's not much. It's 225 damage, but it's better than nothing. You don't really have to be at these fights. Because here's the thing. Based on your farm right now, if you show up for one of these fights, there's probably a pretty good chance you're only going to get like a Lightning Bolt and an Arc Lightning off. So, why not just use your ulti? Like, any fight that you could show up for and use those 2 spells for and still live, you could probably just have Thunder God's Wrath while farming the other side of the map. So you should definitely just be focusing right now on just split pushing. Like, you're actually one of the safer heroes to split push against techies because you can just walk a little bit, throw a bolt down, see if there's any mines. Walk a little bit, throw a bolt down, see if there's any mines. And you can just push the creep waves out with your Arc Lightning, get a bunch of farm, get to your, take advantage of your EXP talent. Especially if you're going for the EXP talent, you should definitely be split pushing because it gives you solo experience. It's going to make you get to your upper level talents that are all really, really, really good on this hero much more quickly. And like I said, if you are getting that farm, you have an Ags by then. You have Ags, you have Thunder God's Wrath. You're able to contribute across the map while still pushing a lane. So you're getting 2 things done at the same time. So yeah, showing up for fights right now just doesn't make any sense. And to be honest, you said, like, what could I do to win this game? in the late stages, I don't think that we really need to talk about that because this game could be going so much better for you by now. I think this game is just being made really, really difficult by the fact that you're making the decision to continue to fight over and over and over when you have no farm. Your lifesteal doesn't even have a radiance, so you guys have no business taking any fights right now. There's no reason to ever fight right now unless they're actually hitting your tier 3, and they're not. You have a bunch of towers up. In fact, they've taken 1 tower, and you guys are taking fights. So you're not even defending towers. You're just fighting to fight, and you don't have the farm to win the fights, so you're basically just fighting to lose. All right. Let's go on to the next one. The Architect is a carry Medusa. Playing Medusa and the enemy Pango got... Let's see. Pull it up so we can actually see what it looks like. Yeah, you guys need to relax. Drink some tea, as Jenkins would say. Smell some candles. Take some mushrooms, as Jenkins would say. Do something to make yourself happy. Right, I mean, so you know, like, the game changed when you got Ags. But it took so long to get there. And, like, if you get to the late game, sure, you're a Zeus. All you have to do is just press all your buttons and people die. It's just a matter, it's like, it's not even really that important to talk about the late game because you probably shouldn't have gotten there. Is all I'm trying to say. Like, you legitimately hard counter techies, so you shouldn't really be a problem. And you can definitely completely destroy Sniper as well. Okay, so what do we have to say about Medusa? Playing Medusa and the enemy Pango got a really early Diffusal Blade, and I felt like every time he swashbuckled, I would lose all my mana and most of my health. I want to know what items I should have bought and how I should have played to delay the game until our team could have had a chance. Okay. You've got an early fighting hero, a relatively early fighting hero who played not like an early fighting hero. You've got a pushing hero. Oh wait, this is against you. Okay, so on your side, you have... Yeah, because you've got Medusa and Invoker and a Gyrocopter. I guess this is an off-lane gyro. Is that what's happening? You guys have a very, very, very greedy lineup. So that's probably problem number 1. You 7th picked Medusa. So you picked it into Undying, Witch Doctor, Necro. Seems okay. Picked it after Invoker. That, I mean, that right there is a very greedy pick. You already have an Invoker who's kind of your farming hero. There's a 10th pick Gyrocopter, whatever that means. Medusa replay for the Architect.
Your turn to ban.
What are your lanes gonna look like? Okay. Can anybody in chat tell me what's wrong with this starting item build? Anybody? Not enough regen. Thank you. You are against a hero who loves to harass. Wait, what the fuck is this laning stage? Is this a carry Pangolier? It is a carry Pangolier. Okay. You're against Witch Doctor, you're against Necrophos. Yeah, man. This is one of those replays. Every single person has too little regen. Except for this guy. This guy's doing it right, except he needs a stat shield. This guy's doing well. We have a double mid. I don't know. Anyway, it's not important. You've got a support, Slardar, and a Medusa. But yeah, too little regen first and foremost. But now you're here. And last hitting. Keeping the wave in a pretty good spot. Oh, planted a tree but did not eat it. Oh, we die there. Okay, so we're tanking the creeps. Being right-clicked by people. We're not responding because we're getting last hits. That death was completely unnecessary. Just like pay closer attention to your health pool. The tree. Oh no, the tree. You also had Mana Shield available, so don't forget to press your buttons. Definitely could have survived if you'd used your Mana Shield there. So basically, I'm not a huge Medusa player, but just generally speaking, I do like that you came back with more regen. That very good. Give him a hand. Everybody give him a hand. That's definitely good. You recognize that this lane is shitty for you because there's people just hitting you all the time. I would probably, to be honest, against any lane that you'd be against, you're definitely going to want a wand. I would consider picking up a stick as quickly as possible. And I know it's kind of hard because the wave is always being pushed into you, but you also have a pushing ability. So I'd consider just kind of like trying to push the wave out so you can access the secret shop and pick up a full wand as soon as possible. Item would completely change your game because it would allow you to just get stacks off of the Death Pulse, which is going to be used constantly. Or, you know, it could have potentially been an Undying. Again, it would be a hero that's constantly using spells. Pangolier as well. So Wand, this game is really, really good. It's going to give you free mana and HP all the time. I would also probably, if I'm taking a lot of harass in this lane, I'd probably just leave my Mana Shield on as much as possible to give myself a little bit of extra tankiness, especially since I can Mana Steal back from the other team. So this guy gets out of position, you get a kill, but now the wave is pushing. So I would probably be trying to deny these creeps as quickly as possible. Start trying to pull the wave back. So you pick up a couple more Wraith Bands. Again, stick, boots, both of which you should have as quickly as possible in this lane. Medusa used to go for Phase a lot. Like Phase Madness was the build, but I think now you just go Trez because Phase is much worse on ranged heroes. So you could also, like, I would probably with my first 1,000 gold probably just go for a stick and then Treads. That's going to give me, you know, attack speed. It's going to give me Tread switching to use my Mana Snake. It's going to give me the damage from the Agi Treads as well. So I think I like that much better than picking up Wraith Bands from base. This is a little bit antiquated. This is not really the style that's played very much anymore. The spamming the Wraith Bands and nulls and stuff like that is kind of old. So if you're using my build, I apologize. Should probably update it. But yeah, so this is constantly being pushed. And so this is where you can do a couple of things. You can't always control what your team's doing. Sometimes they're going to push the lane. Because you guys have been trading with them while you're standing in the creep wave, the lane is pushing. And this is not a good place for you to be. You could get casked, you could take a bunch of damage, but simply put, it's just not safe for you to be standing here trying to contest them because you're very slow moving. So you can just walk back over here And then when the creep wave is about right here, you can just pull this wave into it. And you can do this as a carry. Doesn't matter. Like if your Slardar is just doing random stuff, you just pull this creep wave. You get the last hits here. You get the last hits on all of these creeps, or most of these creeps. You could double pull if you wanted to. Okay, so you actually do this. This is great. You got to pull the lane. And because of how pushed up the creep wave is, you could. This is probably where I would even consider doing the double pull. Okay, so you hey man, definitely the right idea. You just got to be a little bit earlier. This particular camp dies very quickly because all these units have very low HP and their armor is bad. So probably about when the first one of them dies is when you should walk over here. So yeah, I like this idea. It just didn't quite work out. While you're here, I'd also probably pick up the bounty rune. Or at least go back for it. Okay, so you do go back for it. That's good. Again, you've got all the right ideas, I think. It's just a matter of executing them a little bit faster. And that's just something that will come with more practice and like being more comfortable in the game. Because it seems like this is a fairly low MMR game, which means that you probably aren't quite as comfortable with your mechanics yet as a more experienced player would be. And that's totally fine. You just need to play more. And I would say that your theory in this lane is relatively good. It's just a matter of mechanics so far. And then just making those decisions a little bit faster. So we're going to get Jenkins on the call.
Hey, big boy.
Hey, say hi to the 104 people that are watching us right now.
Hello.
And all right, I'm kicking you off the call. I don't want you here anymore.
Don't do that. I belong here.
Don't do that.
Fuck you, pussy.
Whoa, man. Very aggressive.
Come on.
Very
Every
aggressive.
time with this guy, this jackass. Did you cast today?
I did cast.
How'd that go?
It was pretty good. I watched OG get completely pooped on.
I watched Sammy Boy get completely pooped on.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, that made me feel great. Actually, he played pretty well in Ursa game today, but they ended up throwing.
I watched his visage be terrible.
Weird pick. They're losing it. They're totally losing it.
Eternal Chenvi moving on.
He really is. He's gonna lose in the upper bracket though to J Storm, I think.
Yeah, that's probably guaranteed. Anyway,
Yeah, they're way better.
We did one replay already. We did a Weaver.
Oh,
we did a Weaver.
Sounds
replay.
about right. Sounds about right. One in an hour.
Yep. And are you picking your nose right now?
No,
You definitely were. It froze picking your nose. That's pretty sweet.
I mean that's.
Look at him pick his
literally-
nose. Oh, it's great. I'm watching it.
I mean,
back on stream.
I can't just like scratch my nose.
I mean, you're deep up in.
Hello. What? No, I'm not.
You're like fist deep, like touching your brain deep up in your nose.
Absolutely not.
I
You
saw
fucking
it. Everybody
give
saw it.
yourself nose lobotomies all the time. When you're picking your nose, I can.
Chat. I mean, did you see that happen? Because I saw that happen.
That was not deep. Don't call it deep.
Okay, it was.
Don't call it deep ever again.
It was. What's the word I'm looking for?
Cock?
All right, we're demo.
I mean, we're not monetized in the first place.
We don't make any money.
We don't. Elbow deep. Go fuck yourself, Charles. Get out of here. Don't say that about me and how I pick my nose. I can pick my nose if I want. Doesn't make it deep.
All right. So anyway, let me give you some context.
Okay.
This is a Guardian replay.
I'm not seeing a shared screen, so that's pretty great.
Well, yeah, you're gonna do this all audio for this one.
Okay, sure. All right, so Guardian. So yeah, the first thing that I would suggest for Guardian is just like get good, basically. No, I'm just kidding.
Why do I even invite this guy on here? Like, can we go back to just me and you, chat? Like, I think it was a little bit better.
Excuse me, is this ancient player talking to me as if he's fucking somebody?
I mean,
This
I don't
ancient
know, man.
plebeian?
Who would you be if I wasn't editing your videos back in Pugna? Probably no one.
Oh my god, you
I
want to
made
go
you.
there?
I made you.
Game Leap made you. Game Leap made you.
No.
Ivan made you.
I made myself because I approached them and said, "Let me make your YouTube."
And
channel
Ivan
better.
said, "Look at this plebeian ancient player who thinks that he can do something with his life. If you're
Yeah.
ancient, you're basically a nobody.
Okay, that's fine.
Everybody knows that.
I'm happy to be a nobody, but I'm happy to have made you who you are. You know, that's what I thrive on, is making other people better,
thank you.
which is why I'm running Dota Alchemy, because I'm making everybody who watches our content better, yourself included.
That's gonna get us demonetized, saying something as trash as that. All right, let's get into this replay.
Okay. So, Architect is playing Medusa in the safe lane. He's got a support Slardar.
Okay.
He started the lane off with only 3 tangos, 3 wraith, 3 slippers,
Aggressive.
and that's about it. We told him to get more regen to start out the
I agree.
lane. Also, going for 3 wraith bands is sort of not meta anymore.
It's not.
Could probably just get away with maybe like 1 or even just power treads and Dragonlance or something like that to get your tanking stats.
Yasha probably.
Yep.
Just to farm faster.
Yep. And so then we were just kind of talking about how to maybe play this lane a little bit better, because Slardar is sort of tanking the creeps and pushing the wave while he trades with people. So sometimes you kind of have to go over here and just do your own pull, which he did. He just missed the timing a little bit. And that's where we are in the replay.
Deny that range creep. Last hit that range creep. Keep that equilibrium. Oh, is that guy farming? Is that the guy think he's farming too?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so the point in split shot here is probably not ideal, because you're just going to continue to push the wave, unless you want to push the wave, in which case you should just hard commit to pushing the wave, but I don't think you need to do that in this lane. Thoughts?
No, I agree. I think you can hard to commit to pushing the wave, just because you have a Slardar support, and he's like stealing your last hits and stuff, so you guys aren't really like...
It's not a normal lane at all.
Yeah, it's not a normal lane. I definitely commit to pushing, just because, like, this guy's going to ruin your lane anyway. Like, you're not going to be able to keep the equilibrium and zone out the enemies and free farm and have them get no experience. That's not happening in this lane.
Yeah.
That's why, like, in general, if you're, like, not sure about a lane, it's never really a bad thing to like, pull. Like, just push the lane,
and go
pull the lane
yourself
back. Yeah, go pull yourself. Go jungle. Just go do something other than like sitting there. Just because, like, in the worst case scenario, get a shitload of farm doing that.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, it's really a good option when you're not sure. That's always, for me, that's always when it's really good, because, like, there are times where I'm sure. So, for example, if I'm like a high pressure safe lane against a shitty off lane, I'm gonna be like, yeah, no, don't push pull. Why would we give them free experience? But in this case, like, Necrophos plus Witch Doctor versus a Medusa, who's like a terrible laner, plus a Slardar who's like pushing the lane, it's not good. That's not a good lane.
Yeah, it's a really bad lane. So
these kills and stuff that you're getting up here, they can happen while you're doing that and getting farm by doing that.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think that your best option in a lane like this is really to, like, if you think about it, you could either have a good lane.
Greedy, man.
You could either have a good lane and let the other team have a relatively good lane, or you could have a bad lane and the other team's still going to have a relatively good lane.
Yeah, right.
You might as well just push the lane and get yourself a good one and let them just accept that they're going to get some farm anyway.
I think with Medusa, like, the laning phase doesn't matter that much, because, like, you just do whatever and then you farm. Like, the way that you're farming, like the place that you're farming, not dying, like, early mid game matters a lot more, and then like when you make the choice to actually start fighting, that matters a lot too. In general, on Medusa, I would say that with how she is now, with like the nerfs to her. For the most part, you can just farm until you have this huge lead, and then you fight once and then you just win the game.
Yeah, this hero is even more of an anti-mage than anti-mages. Like you basically just never want to show up for a fight until you actually have like 5 or 6 items, pretty much. Or you hit a specific timing with like the rest of your team. But I'm gonna assume that in these games and Guardian games, that's never gonna happen. So you really need to just get super fat. And I think I would almost even consider going Midas on this hero at this point, because your level 25 talent is so important to being survivable.
40 attack speed makes her farm insanely fast too.
Yeah, that's also very good. Like 30 attack speed is your 15 talent. So
those 2 Wraith bands could be half a Midas.
Yeah.
I would just skip the laning phase in this though, because like laning a Medusa is easy. Like I said, like for the most part, the pressure's on them to deal with you in the game. So just push the lane and pull, push the lane and pull, push the lane and pull. Push the lane, jungle, go jungle. Like, you just hit jungle creeps. It's really easy.
Yeah.
So,
using your TP to come here seems like kind of a waste. I'd say you either walk here and then TP here and farm this area, or you just immediately walk here and farm this area.
So yeah, you're currently like playing the. So if we go back, see, this is kind of just back to like when the fight was happening by the Roche pit. So. Sure. So the one issue with like skipping through the replay is that we don't see like what happened leading up to the point. So you're farming, you go back to base, and so enemy team, don't run at them. Like the enemy team is occupying your jungle constantly, and when we saw you after this, they were occupying your jungle. Like you want to play away from the enemies, you want to play away from your team, you want to just hit creeps totally on your own, getting a complete free farm. Solo experience. You don't want to fight. Like, I'm actually impressed that guy managed to die in Ember Spear, because there's no disable for him. But like the thing is, if you can show up as a level 16 Medusa when everybody's level like 12 or 13, you're just gonna you're gonna destroy everybody. You shouldn't even be in a position where you can get ganked like this, because you should be away from the enemy team. But the problem is, if you're running at like where your team is running at, then you're going to be running at the enemies, because people are going to run at people. And like, you should be bot pushing this lane in constantly. I think Invoker can do it too, but it's a low rated pub, so he's probably an idiot. So you just want to do that yourself.
Yeah, Invoker's going to fight too. Like, you have a gyrocopter who was like fighting over mid. Like, this is just one of those games where you should essentially act like your
There's
team
a bounty
doesn't
there.
exist.
Look at the bounty. You can grab 2 bounties, push the lane out. And one thing I think that is like hugely underrated about split pushing in terms of winning fights is that if you're split pushing the bot lane, you're going to split the enemy team up into 2 groups, and then your idiots are going to run at their idiots, and then because your idiots are more than their idiots, your idiots will win the game. They'll win those fights. So like, you'll actually be winning team fights by running at the opposite side of the map from where everything's happening. That's like the carry role. If you want to fight, you should be picking like Phantom Assassin, not Medusa. You should be picking another role probably that's not carry. But you can like win fights by not fighting. That's the most important thing, because you split the enemy team into 2 groups. Yep. That's effectively killing 2 people in the fight that your team takes when you're not there.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. And I don't know, are you allergic to the bottom lane or something? Because you continually TP to this tower or this.
There's so much farm that's just sitting there. That's like.
And like,
the equilibrium's been there
still
forever.
Going back up here. Like, why are you always in your jungle? Just go here. There's literally nobody here. You know nobody's here because they're all top all the time. So, yeah, just like spending a lot of time not getting farm on Medusa. It's no wonder that you had such a hard game. It had nothing to do with the Pangolier getting an early Diffusal Blade. It's the fact that you were letting him hit you because you were anywhere near him the entire
shouldn't
game.
Be near him. Yeah, you shouldn't be until like you choose to be near him. The whole game should be, as a carry, the whole game is like riding on your choice of like, all right guys, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like you have that luxury. So if you're not using it, you should be playing a hero that either wants to fight or a role that doesn't have that luxury, because there's trade-offs for you having that luxury. Your team has to pick less late game heroes. Your team has to be supporting you and fighting. Like, the trade-offs are going to make it so that you lose a lot of games if you're not abusing the fact that you have the permission from your team as a carry to just say, nah, I don't want to show up to this fight.
Yep.
Like, you got to abuse that.
Yep. Also, one last thing that I want to point out, because we've talked about quite a few things in this replay already, is that every single time that you respawn, your TP's off the cooldown, you're immediately using your TP, and it's just to get you to the closest farm. There's absolutely no thought into it other than I need to go farm. Here's where I need to go farm. You're TPing to this tower, which is not a very far walk. You're TPing to this shrine, which is, I mean, we don't even want to play here. You're TPing to this shrine, this tower. You're TPing to this shrine. All of these places are walkable distance, and then you keep your TP off of cooldown to come to a fight if you need to at some point, or to just stone gaze and escape if somebody comes to gank you.
Yep. Yeah, TP is far more valuable than just using it to get somewhere like 5 seconds earlier.
Yeah, so this
far
is
more valuable.
You know, this is high herald, low guardian game. So, you know, there's lots of things that we could talk about in this, but I think those specific things that we did talk about will they'll take you to like at least Crusader if you just start doing.
Let me tell you, dude, split pushing destroys in low rated games. I've been annihilating people because they're like, oh, you're a rat. It's like, you just are showing up as 5 at everything that I do, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
You're giving me, it's like I'm a dog and you're feeding me treats every time I shit on the floor. It's like, fuck, I gotta take a shit right now. It's gonna shit on the floor now. Like, why would you give a dog treats for that? I'll keep shitting on the floor, you know?
Yeah, legitimately.
Exactly.
Anytime a team is showing up as 4 or 5 to stop one person split pushing, that one person should never stop split pushing. It should always be split pushing.
And every single low-rated game that I play,
yeah, it'll win you so many games.
I've won so many games by just playing like Lycan, never fighting, because it's like, oh my god, I can just yo-yo these dickheads around the map, and they're wasting all of their time. They're all chatting me, and I'm getting towered, and then it's really bad, and people, because a lot of the time people will just run as 5 to the nearest thing happening, and then the enemy team will run as 5. So it trains them to get an endorphin rush, a positive reward for running as 5 to whatever's happening.
Yep.
So you just cut the umbilical cord, you know, you just don't run as 5 to that thing, and people are like, oh my god, how do I play Dota? This guy's a rat.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, when I was doing like the smurfing at 1K with support, I would always inevitably end up as the person split pushing, and I like barely ever lost games because I'm always just like hitting their tier 3s. 5 people show up, or like 3 people show up. That's even better. 3 people show up, 2 people continue to fight my team. I don't have to even be there. Them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's like enemy team goes missing, run away. Enemy team shows, go hit creeps. Enemy team goes missing, run away. Rinse, repeat, win Dota.
Yep, 100%. All right, so this is David, carry, lifestealer. I think I individually did well, but I don't know what I could have done better to bring my team the W. That is not enough information, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and look at it.
David. Big D.
David.
So 16, 6, 20, 10, 11, 22, 13, 11, 14. Looks like this was a pretty late game and like relatively even, and probably there's like 1 or 2 late game decisions that caused this one to be an L.
Yeah, I mean, look, you did the most hero damage by far on your team. You had the most farm in the entire game. You itemized pretty well, I would say.
Yeah, these are good items.
And it looks
it's like a slugfest.
We should probably go to like here, probably, right? Like 35.
Should I don't want to look at lanes because like I am a firm believer that, you know, you could have done stuff in the lanes to like snowball this game probably, but I don't know. We talk a lot about the lanes, and if you're linking a late game replay, I assume you want to learn about like late game decisions.
Okay, so we'll go to 35 minutes, and then we'll look at like the very last thing that lost the game, because the game was about even then.
Yeah.
Also.
Don't ever do that in my ears again, sir. That wasn't cool. Just kidding. I'm so sorry. I'm just kidding.
I don't know how Moxie puts up with you and Cass.
Oh my god. I don't know how Breaky puts up with you. He probably mutes you.
He does. We've been over that. I literally just listen to him and then I respond, and then he has like
he mutes you. There's a button to mute you?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. So what about this?
Yep. We have
Yeah,
we're sort of like a call and response style. That's just that's just how it is.
yeah, I got you. Skatey, you went for Skatey pickup. Makes you a little tankier. Armor gives you armor. Good against Legion. Good against a bunch of tanky guys. Yeah, this is a good lifestealer game too.
Yep.
So you have a 7K gold lead.
Yeah, you're super omega farmed.
So at this point, I think it is very unlikely that you would lose this game with this amount of gold lead and map control. So you guys are occupying a decent space. Your team dies, you TP bot, which is okay. What items do the other people on your team have? I want to see this.
Okay, we've got Blade Mail, Spirit Vessel, Treads, pretty good items on Spirit Breaker. Got Eggs, Maelstrom on Wind Ranger.
Okay, so I would say that at this point in the game of Dota, like, you don't really want to TP to the bot lane and do like garbage control in that lane, just because there's a couple of reasons that people call like a dead lane a dead lane. It's not. There's the first reason, which we always refer to, which is essentially like if you go there you'll die. But in this case, the bottom lane should be dead because it just delays your game to go down there. It's dead because it doesn't do anything to go down there. Nobody's pressuring it. Even if they do pressure, there's Roshan available. You have a huge gold lead. You could fight the enemy team and win the game. It's just unnecessary to go to that lane because there's no threat from the enemy team in that lane, and there's potential for you to just win the game. So you go Roshan. Okay, it's not that bad if you're not like chilling down there for a super long time. But if you do keep TPing back there for the rest of this game, then it's an issue.
Yeah.
But I've seen it once, but it's just an issue because in Dota, typically, like, just based on movement speed, based on how quickly heroes can get to places, you can only occupy 2 lanes. If you occupy 3, even if you have a huge lead, that's how you lose Dota, because they'll pick one person off in one of the lanes. The person in the opposite lane on the opposite side of the map can't get there, so that'll result in like a huge lost team fight. So I like that you guys are together. I think you should maybe head to the bot lane together, and then the top lane becomes dead. But you should just be sticking together, taking any fight on like a good ward, especially now that Zeus ulti is down. And then, yeah, probably not. You probably don't want to just be down here though, because like
you probably don't want to just be spending all of your time in Spirit Breaker either.
Well, you could just take their. You can, but you should go smoke. But like you could take their jungle. Like they should be choked out at this point with a 7K gold deficit. You should not be safely farming in your own jungle. And also, you're kind of farming while your team is doing shit. Like, you have an Aegis, you have a 7K gold lead. You need to feel way more like you have an advantage, and like that's when you're going to end the game.
A sense of urgency, huh, Jenkins?
Feel a sense of urgency, yes. Because like you're hitting easy creeps, dude. 20 gold each.
Yeah.
20 gold, 100 gold from the Midas, and then Wind Ranger's dead with an Aegis.
Gold doesn't even matter in this game. This is all about map pressure. This is all about map control, vision, and map pressure. It has nothing to do with farm. It has nothing to do with gold. You guys already have the gold lead. You're already stronger than the rest of their heroes.
I would say that the biggest thing that I have to say is that when you have a lead like this, especially when you have an Aegis, don't play on your side of the map ever.
Yeah.
Don't do that, because you're giving the enemy team their side of the map to farm when they shouldn't have. At this point, with this much of a gold lead, they should have 1 jungle to farm, and you should have 3. Yeah. You should have 2 lanes to farm, and they should have 1.
Yeah, so you're
if you have a tremendous gold lead,
you're either controlling like this is your area, or you're controlling.
Right, that's like the most typical. And if you control like Donnie drew on the map there, you're controlling 2 lanes, which is a lot of farm. You're controlling the Roche Pit. You're controlling 2 jungles. You're controlling entrance to their own jungle. Sure, they'll have your jungle bot, but they have only 1 lane to work with. That's why it's like the dead lane. You honestly kind of want to give them that lane too, because it gives them a reason to split up. So if you give them a lane that's like pushed out, that means somebody will go bot. If somebody goes bot, if somebody comes top, you can pick them off. And somebody inevitably will come top because they want to get farm, because you're choking them. Unfortunately, this is like a little late. The Aegis is about to expire. You could have done this like 3 or 4 minutes earlier. But, so Legion buys back.
So we're about to get into the fight where things go south. But before we do this, I wanted to cover a couple points with you. First of all, it's completely acceptable to let tier 2s fall at this point in the game. Like if they're just pushing down 1 lane and you're losing a tier 2 while your whole team is like occupying this area, there's no reason to really defend a tier 2 unless they are going to continue and defend and attack your tier 3, in which case you should go defend your tier 3. But other than that, like, this tower doesn't really matter anymore.
Well, I want to interject just for a second. The way that you can defend a tier 2 is by pressuring their tier 3.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
the reason that you shouldn't defend your tier 2 is because if you go to their tier 3, they can't push your tier 2, or they trade a tier 3 for a tier 2.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important to occupy their side of the map, because it limits their actions in the game for long enough that you'll get a gold lead and then you just win.
Yep, that's a really good point, because it isn't about making the actual movement to that lane to defend it. It's the fact that you give them a choice. Okay, you want a tier 2? Sure, you can have it, but you're losing your tier 3 as a result. The next thing that I just want you to expand on that point, because the point about how it's actually better to let the other team have somewhere to farm, because, like you said,
in some cases,
it splits them
up.
up.
The game. Like to keep it simple, in 90% of cases, yes, it's better. I'm just saying in Dota there are always these like hypothetical cases where it's not effective, but yeah. So if you take 2 lanes, you're going to be getting a lot of farm. You'll be controlling 2 or 3 jungles, so you'll get a gold lead eventually. You'll get a gold lead. You'll get an experience lead. But if you're controlling 3 lanes, not only are you splitting up and giving the enemy team an opportunity to kill you, because it's very likely in 3 lanes you'll be so split you can't help each other, but they'll have no reason to leave their base and put themselves in a position where you can pick them off. Like, if bot lane is pushed in like this, for example, that gives, let's say, I don't know, Legion Commander a reason to go down there and show she can take your jungle, which means that she has a reason to split up because there's farm down there. And she's not getting a lot because it's only one little tiny area, but it gives her enough that it's kind of like dangling the carrot, where somebody will go down there, they split up, you get a crucial pick off, boom, you won the game. Going high ground into 5, very hard. Going high ground into 4, very easy. You just dive them and kill them. That's it.
Yep, that's the biggest point, is that it's actually better to allow them to have the opportunity to split up by not just completely choking all 3 lanes in all the time when you're ahead.
Yep.
Just for that exact reason. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch this team fight in relatively slow motion. You get a pick off on the Legion Commander. That's great. I don't believe you have any wards on the shrine. You do not. So go ahead and look at player perspective for you. Running in with the Aegis, and you should be frontlining. That's good. Don't know that I would rage right off the bat.
So, I mean, the choice to fight in this scenario is actually fine. It's totally fine in my opinion. It's just the location that you're fighting is very dangerous, and I believe that you could just run down the lane. Like, you already killed somebody. You have no reason to fight their heroes other than killing heroes. Why don't you just run down the lane, and it's way harder for them to fight you on high ground, and then you're also pressuring them. And then also, if the Legion buys back, you can just leave. Like, it's really awkward to get a kill, and then instead of running down the lane that you're in, like, the creeps are pushing themselves. Like, that's how close that lane is to their barracks, is that the creeps are doing the pushing without you. If any of you just ran over to that creep wave and pushed it into their base, this exact shit happens, except they don't have the shrine, they don't have the trees to work with, they don't have as much space to work with, they have to all go into their base, and they'll also take tower damage. Even if they kill you, they'll take tower damage. Like, it seems to me that you just ran at them for kills. That's a problem. I get why you think Legion's dead. Let's go get more. Let's get more kills. But why not just force them to come to you? Just run to their high ground, and then it's the same thing as the tier 2 thing. You don't defend the tier 2 because you get the tier 3 and you say, okay, you have to come here because I'm taking your tier 3. Do the same thing. Why fight into the high ground where they have wards set up, where they have the shrine, where they're waiting for you? Why go into that when you can just say, you want to wait there? All right, nice base. I'll take your base. And then they have to set up in this location that they're not set up yet. And then that fight looks totally different. You probably win right there. Like, that's actually where you win the game. That Legion pickoff was the game.
Yep.
And you had an opportunity, but unfortunately you guys kind of ran in for kills.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're holding all the cards once you kill the Legion Commander. You get to dictate what happens next.
Yeah.
And you basically were just like, oh, I don't want this responsibility, and you gave it back to the other team. You know, like, like you said, literally just go up to their high ground. Completely ignore the fact that there's heroes in the jungle, because this is where they want to fight. They want to fight on their portable fountain. You could also make them fight here instead, which is just way better.
It's actually better than a fountain. It heals for far more than a fountain does at this point in the game.
Yeah.
So. And not only that, it's like you're running into a location where they're already set up instead of just being like, all right, you come to this location that we're gonna set up. Force them back. You have to view the tier 3 towers and towers in general as a way to force the enemy team back. And then you run up and just kind of die without the that's just kind of, yeah, I mean that's just like a pick off. You just kind of very aggressively positioned versus a Legion commander.
Yeah,
against that hero,
your whole team just like all over the place elsewhere.
Drow is actually a hero because she has the Eon Disc. She could be doing what you were doing there, and you could be jungling. You'd be getting the exact same farm on the map, except she wouldn't be dead.
Yep. And it's okay to now jungle because you no longer have the Aegis, and you guys are no longer really lead, and you don't have any map control. So
this is like late game Dota too. It's not there's like deaths matter, buybacks. It's not exactly at the point where it's just buybacks that matter. Like at a certain point in Dota, barracks don't even matter, just buybacks do. It's not at that point yet, but it's at the point where you should be near your team. Pressuring waves matters, but safely and not for the gold. It's only for the purpose of sending the wave in. But like running up and just farming a lane or dealing with like the dead lane because it's pushed into your tower, you don't do that at this point anymore.
Right.
That's like early to mid game stuff where you need to deal with that. But now it's like you just want to be together because one pick off and you're fucked. One pick off and you just lose.
Yep, which is exactly what just happened right here. I mean, somehow you didn't actually lose this game right now, which is kind of baffling to me considering that you have 3 heroes with no buyback. And they have all 5. This actually should be the game over for you guys. Right?
Yeah, oh, certainly. It's a double siege wave too.
Yeah. There's
oh
no
God,
reason
that guy
for this
went
game
that
not
talent.
to end right now.
Oh my God, that talent's so bad.
Which one?
The Legion Commander talent. Everybody gets it. I'm so sick of seeing that.
Press the attack?
Yes.
What are you
it's not good.
What are you talking about? It's so good.
It's not. What are you purging in this game? You're giving people attack speed and HP regen.
In this game, yeah, it's not good. But if you're playing as like a silence.
Yeah, but you could also just have 600 damage, get an Aghanim, and then literally kill any hero on the Dire or on the Radiant at any point in the game. I had a Legion the other day in a Divine pub that went for that, and not a single time did I see him. We played for like 70 minutes. Not a single time did I see him use it successfully to do anything other than just press the attack himself before dueling. And it's like, you're just running around dueling people. Why don't you just have like plus 500 damage instead? You're so useless.
Alright, because I went this talent once, but we had like an Enigma and there's a bunch of fucking siege creeps, and I press attacked a lot of stuff and it worked really well because we just killed buildings. Like
sure, but that's like a niche thing.
Sure.
It's like the summons or like there's something on the enemy team that really needs to be purged. Some sort of like AoE purge that's necessary. But I mean, so you get like 70 damage per duel. Legion's like the best late game hero in Dota because of that talent. Like, actually the best. Anyway.
I think that was about enough of that replay. Like, that was a good point of just like not executing the choking out of the map correctly and then just not focusing on the right thing. Like there's a shift that happens in the laning stage. It's all about control of the creeps. In like the early to mid game, it's all about accumulating farm and who hits their power spike early. In the mid game, it's all about who has Roche control because you want to progress towards ending the game in high ground. The late game, it's all about getting a pick off and then translating that into a win. And super late game, it's all about buybacks. Like each
God.
Each stage
buffing the CK illusions as if CK doesn't do enough burst damage. Oh my God. Dude. Okay.
Alright. Let's go on.
I wish they didn't add that. Like as if Legion Commander wasn't a dumb enough hero.
Alright.
Add this like silly talent.
Alright, on to Xavi. Xavi playing support Dazzle. I fed pretty hard. We won besides the 20th century I bought. I felt like I was a useless noob for my team. I know you don't want win replays, but please take a look.
I don't think so.
That's a negative. You did feed kind of hard. About 20 sentries against the bounty hunter. This should be like 40, by the way. Not to nitpick, but I'm gonna nitpick.
You're such a nitpicker.
At least I'm not a nose picker. Bam!
Ah, come on. Come on.
Got
Come
him.
on, man.
Got him.
Asshole. Guy's an asshole.
Your turn to ban.
Who are we watching? Dazzle?
Dazzle support.
So you got a Huskar. Dazzle Huskar. Alright, one thing I want to say at this point in the game, you should never grave anybody except for Huskar. Like, even if it means not, like, almost never. You should never grave somebody. Jesus, the English. You should almost never grave anybody other than Huskar in this game, because if you, in the one fight where you grave yourself or you grave your sniper and Huskar goes in and dies, that could have been the game-winning fight. Like, this combo, Oracle plus Huskar, Dazzle plus Huskar, is so incredibly good at winning fights. It's just utterly broken that you have to grave him. You can't grave anybody else. I've seen so many games lost because Dazzles try to play regular Dazzle with a Huskar on their team. No, you're a combo. Like,
that's like IO gyro. The IO's always tethered to the gyrocopter.
Exactly. It's like if you have an IO on your team and you expect the IO to tether you when there's a gyro, like, you're just gonna make your team lose and get angry. Like, there's no way that should, like, it's just too good to have IO gyro. It's too good. It's way better than anything else you can do with that hero in that game.
The shit.
He's on fire.
I just want to watch this this Jakiro go ward. Just watch the mid lane on the mini map for a second here. Pretty incredible. Oh, there's Pink. There's the ward.
Is he? Wait, what? Is it Envision?
I mean, he literally just walked up, placed the ward, spun
Oh
around.
no, I thought it was in Tower
No.
Vision.
But still.
I mean, yeah, that's should instantly get dewarded and also give the person more gold. Like, it just gives that. It's literally giving the enemy team golden experience. He just lost the mid lane by doing that.
Should have, anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would probably just buy a sentry, put it on courier, and send it to your purple.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid idea. Purple wins mid from that. I mean, especially because there's a BH in the game.
Yep. Yeah, having a sentry in the mid is super valuable.
Actually, you need a sentry in general against BH.
You need like 2 sentries.
Yeah.
Probably want to start this game with 2 sentries instead of like the Mango and Iron Branch. Something like that. You put a sentry
When
here.
you're a support, you can just off yourself to a tower or literally suicide to them and it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need regen. You don't really need regen as a support.
Yeah. Probably should have like 3 tangos generally as a support, just so you don't, like, for a rune fight coming to lane. Although you could just die after a rune fight, that's also fine. But yeah, you're right. Kills in the early game on supports are basically irrelevant. It's all about just like providing your team with a good game, and whatever that means in whatever capacity. It could literally just be dying to become a courier for the mid lane.
Yeah.
Which happens a lot.
So I would look to pull the lane back, probably using the big camp right now, just because it's pushed up really far. You guys might have blocked it or messed up the creep wave. It's fine, that happens. But you just wanna pull it back to fix that as soon as possible.
Yeah, I would say that pretty much as a general rule of thumb, unless you guys are actively trying to push their tower very early on, if the creep wave ever gets to about this small tree or this bush, you should just look to pull the next one.
Look to pull, yeah. Like, it honestly doesn't even matter the lane. There's like very few scenarios where you don't want to pull. Pulling is just insane. And you do pull, so that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Yep. That pull is a little bit sketchy. I'd probably just walk right here and stand here and let the creeps hit you, just to make that a little bit smoother.
Yeah, in case people who are watching this or you aren't aware, it's hard to tell from watching this because I've watched you do one pull, but yeah, the creeps do. Creeps draw aggro on attacking. So like if you get attacked by something, you can actually technically pull from a longer range. There's like I think it's like a 400 radius or something like that around you. If you get attacked, the creeps will pull.
So one thing
That's
you can
why
actually
if you attack
do,
heroes at lane, the creeps will hit you.
yeah,
Same thing works with neutrals.
yeah, and one of the nice things is when you have a ranged creep in the camp that you're trying to pull is like if the creep wave is too far away because you pulled too early or too late, you can actually like get them to attack you and then run to the creep wave, and the projectile will hit you, and they'll still aggro back to the creep wave.
Yeah, it's really important to start doing it that way, just because it allows for you to it essentially expands your window for pulling. It gives you it makes pulling easy. You don't even need to know the timing. Everybody asks me like, "Oh, Jenkins, what is the pull timing?" It's like you don't need to know the pull timing because it's so easy to pull if you just use that trick. Even with the melee creeps, they'll go to swing and hit you, and then you can walk a little bit of a distance, and you can still extend the range by doing that. Because it's a radius around you, which means that there's a range that's always going to be increased when it hits you, and then the melee attack will follow you as if it's a projectile. Like I'm sure most people have gotten attacked by an Ursa who's like well out of melee range because the attack just goes off. So like you don't need to know any pull timings. It's just super easy to pull if you.
Yeah. When the creeps are right here, you just attack. You walk into the wave. It's like pretty simple.
But anyway, that's like super tangential. I would say you should pull
pull through.
Pull through, yeah. Because even if the other creep wave is going to meet up with your Huskar soon enough, right? So even if you're worried about him, it's like, is it really worth giving him this creep wave to defend him 2 seconds earlier than it is to just pull the other camp and screw with the enemy team that much harder?
And he just has a whole bunch of regen anyway, so he doesn't really care about tanking creeps very much. He's actually probably happy to take damage at this point so he can last hit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so about now is when I would pull this creep wave because you have a healing camp and they often take a little bit longer to kill. This is a little bit too late. Now it's definitely too late. And as a result, you're actually going to give the other team a double wave, which means that you are going to have to scramble to pull this again.
As a rule of thumb, you can just kind of count as the creeps are dying and then just get an idea of how quickly their HP is falling.
Yep.
And when there's about, I don't know, like 2 to 3 seconds left of the creeps being alive, you can just pull the camp over. And if you calculate wrong, just hit the creep. Yep. Like you can just hit it's a huge window. See how the melee creep hit you? Like you don't actually have to drag the creeps so far.
You don't have to make sure that the creeps like meet each other. You just need to make sure that the aggro happens. And so again, I would not run this way. I would actually run into your creep wave so that you get your radius close enough to them.
I'd pull through.
Again, pull through. So right now, you're kind of just sending double waves into them all the time. And actually, Jenkins made a video about this, about how this is a good strategy if you guys are being pressured in lane. But you guys are definitely not being pressured in lane because you have a Huskar and a Dazzle. So
they're like two of the best laners in Dota, and also one of the most broken combos in Dota.
Yeah. So now, right now, this is just a little efficiency thing. We missed the pull, but we still have an opportunity to stack the camp. So
you could also technically pull the hard camp if you tango the tree below.
Yeah, if you were to tango, which one is it? Like
like any of them.
This one works.
Oh, I'm such an idiot. I'm pointing at my screen. No, actually, you only need to tango one. When you said these two, it's only one of them. Here? Yeah, only one of those trees in the bottom there, and you can walk through.
Okay, well, yeah, you can tango this, any of those, and you can still pull into your creep wave. You have to tango one of these as well. You kind of do, right?
You can pull to the right. Yeah, you can pull to the right there, but you can also tango that tree that's like right above the tower. That big one. Yeah, you can tango that. You can literally pull it into the tower, which is very stupid. Radiant safe lane is broken.
Pretty broken. That being said, this is just like wasted movement as a support. Like you don't need to be over here. This doesn't make any sense. You could be stacking this camp or doing that pull. Now you're just kind of standing here, helping Huskar deny, which is
helping a free farm Huskar deny is not effective. Like if you're in a dual lane versus dual lane and Huskar can't deny on his own, then yeah, you can help deny and it's effective. But when he's on this is something we see a lot with supports, where essentially like the carry can just do all of the actions of the safe lane alone, and the support will still do the safe lane actions such as denying, even pulling to some degree. And these aren't necessary if the carry can do them. Like the point of view of as a role, as a hero, is to get your carry to the point where he can do everything that the safe lane needs all on his own.
Yeah.
And once again, kind of sending double waves. Like that's probably the biggest mistake that I would point out here is that you just are continuously sending double waves to a team that's supposed to be getting pressured by you right now. They're not even farming well.
Yeah. They're not even doing very well. This Witch Doctor actually is more farmed than the Pangolier. But yeah, I mean, it's like there's no reason for them to have even as much experience as they have now. Just imagine.
Well, they can just stand
every other wave now. They'd be like level.
But
2.
they can just stand here without consequence. Like they should be punished for standing there doing nothing against your Huskar. They should be punished for that by getting no experience because you're constantly pulling. So that forces them over to contest you, and then when they're forced over to contest you, that's when you kill them. Like that's how you kill them in this game, is that they just slowly but surely lose the level advantage.
And then they walk over here, and then they're super out of position. You guys,
yeah. I don't think sending a double wave at this point would actually be a decent choice, just because the bounty rune's about to spawn, and that would secure you the bounty. Although it looks like you're walking over, they're not going to contest you. But in a higher rated game, people will abuse the fact that you pulled on a bounty rune. They'll just get the bill. All right, free bounties, I guess. But he runs over after the fact because he's like, oh shit, bounties.
Right.
But yeah, that's definitely the one point where setting a double wave in this situation is not unreasonable.
Yeah, and
it's for a purpose, for the bounties.
Yeah, for the bounties or with a catapult wave. Those would be like the two.
Yeah, or if you want to dive and kill them, but you guys aren't a dive and kill set of heroes. Like Huskar Dazzle's not going to dive and kill them. Maybe when he's 6 and has armlet.
When he's 6, for sure.
But at this point, it's like the way you kill them is they put themselves out of position. The way that they put themselves out of position is they have no option in the lane but to run over and contest you. Like so he's contested you finally, but he's like, oh, free wave? Great. He's just committing to you because he's a madman. This is not going to work out for him. Where's your Huskar at? There he is. Yeah, all right. Well,
worked.
that was just him being bad. But you like, if you pull that second camp, then they'll be forced to contest you because otherwise they're just gonna lose the entire creep wave. That's the thing, is when you pull the first camp, he only contested you there because he just wanted to kill you. Yeah. But if you pull the second camp, he has to contest you because otherwise he won't get anything. But look at this Witch Doctor. He just runs back to the tower. It's like, oh, thanks, Dazzle. It's like he's putting coins in like one of those gumball machines. They just keep coming out. Except he's getting 2 gumballs every time. He's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
His gumball was a Pangolier. He's like, oh, all right, this guy's just going to keep feeding, and
we're going to keep getting double waves, and I'm going to be super farmed.
He's winning the lane, the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, he's the same level as you, and he should be.
Look how much experience he's going to get from this double wave. It's huge. Dude, Pango could just not be here, and he could be ganking or something, and Witch Doctor would be 6 right now, and it'd be so devastating to be playing. It's just that Pango's here soaking experience for no reason.
Yeah. They're actually just both fighting for last hits is what's happening. Alright. In this matchup, or with this combo, I think getting Grave, if you're gonna get aggressive with the 6, then getting Grave at 4 is probably good.
Yeah.
Otherwise you can just max your heal. Probably 2 points in poison. Max your heal. Get Grave.
2 points of points in poison is fine. I would honestly go like Grave heal, Grave heal, Grave heal, because the cooldown reduction on it is huge, because Huskar can go into fights more often instead of like, oh, I graved you, let's fight in 60 seconds.
Right.
Like, that's dumb. And then also like the range is pretty good, but it's more so the cooldown, just the fact that he can constantly go in. Yeah, this situation, you'd love to have Grave here.
Yeah.
Because oh my god, the amount of damage a Huskar does with
when he's at 1 HP.
At 1 HP, that's why I always say, like, if you're an Oracle or you're a Dazzle and there's a Huskar on your team and you grave anybody who's not the Huskar, uninstall Dota and go to leagueoflegends.com/install, because Huskar can literally 1v5 while he's graved. It is stupid how much damage that hero can do. And sure, he might eventually die, but there will be like 50 stacks of the fire spears on somebody. Legitimately, it's stupid. It is stupid, especially with Oracle. The great thing about Dazzle, though, is if you max the Grave, it lasts a lot less time. So he's less of like a superhuman for less time than the Oracle ult. But it's on a lower cooldown, so you can constantly group up, constantly Grave him, and just make the enemy team's life total hell, like living hell.
Yep. Damn, I'm just looking at these last hit numbers. This guy is owning. Your
Is he jungling?
Huskar only has 18 CS at 8 minutes
Well,
into the game.
because he's been fighting with the double wave the whole time to get CS. It's really hard to last hit when there's like 5 or 6 melee creeps and 2 or 3 ranged creeps.
Yeah,
it's really hard.
And the creep wave has just been under their tower the whole time.
Exactly. You can't even contest under there. Well, you kind of can, but it's very risky.
It's hard. Yeah. Okay. Do you think we need to watch more of this replay or no?
Maybe a team fight. We'll just look at a team fight. I feel like the grave thing might have been an issue, just because I know even in like Immortal that's an issue.
Yeah.
I would definitely have higher points in the grave right now.
Yeah, 1 point. Maxing poison touch just doesn't make any sense. You guys don't need.
Where's
damage.
your Huskar at too? Where's Huskar at? You should be like just
following him around.
Yeah, follow him around. It's actually worth it. This combo is so good that it's worth that. So yeah, you should be there. You should be there graving him.
Huskar has 10 deaths at this point in the game. That's unacceptable with the dazzle.
Unless he's getting a lot for those deaths. Nice. Okay, so if you had a higher point in grave, you would have been able to grave him. It's a level 1 grave, so the look at the cast range on it is awful.
Very low.
Like if you're gonna be playing Dazzle Huskar, like run into the trees right now. Run into the trees. Like you're not a right clicker. Huskar does all the damage that's necessary. You should not be in range to get cast with him. Like if you're playing a save hero like Oracle Dazzle,
you should never right click.
Yeah, exactly. You're not a right clicker. You're a spellcaster. You're like a healer. And in like World of Warcraft, I don't know if you guys play World of Warcraft, but in World of Warcraft, like, you know, the healers don't run up and like start hitting the bosses because they're healers. What's the point? You know, they're just gonna get themselves killed, and it's the exact same thing. It's just not your job to.
Yeah.
What am I hearing? What am I hearing, Donnie?
You're hearing Kat talk to her brother on the phone. 1 second. Let me close my door.
Big bro, I love you. I remember back in high school when you stole my Pac-Man cards. And you burned them. You took my rare Charizard. I got it from the Pokemon movie. Yeah, you know, but those were different times. Things were hard back then for me.
Right.
I was playing Digimon, all the kids were making fun of me for it.
I'm back. And I just found cookies in my pocket, so life is good.
Did you? In your pocket?
No.
Lord. Lucky. Dude, one time I found $20 in my pocket. It was fucking awesome. I don't carry cash around. I don't know where it came from.
So I just want to go back to this real quick, because I think it's kind of important to just sort of like show where maybe you could be instead.
Okay.
Okay, so you walk up. Once you cast the poison touch, you should just be standing over here. Like Jenkins said, you are a spellcaster. Your only job is to cast your spells. It's not to do any damage. So you cast poison touch, you run over here. Your Huskar dives in, you run through the trees over here, so you're close enough to grave him if he gets low here. Then you come back over here, and you kind of use your Huskar as a wall between you and the other heroes. And then moving up like this should never happen. I suppose you could honestly still even just be in the trees over here.
I personally like to think of Dota as like a game of blaming and getting emotionally angry and triggered at people for completely unreasonable reasons. And essentially, the way that you need to think about Dazzle and the way that it makes sense to think about Dazzle and Oracle in Dota is that if you are standing in the trees and you press grave on that guy and he doesn't win the game for you, you can blame him for the loss. And then you can go to the next game knowing that you weren't to blame. And then the next game, you just need to find out what your job is, do that job, and if you can blame somebody else for your loss, that's a W. If you're to blame, that's an L. Like, that's how you need to think about it, is that this Huskar, it's his job to win. It's your job to sit in the trees and grave him. It's not your job to do damage. And if he wants to internet fight you over that, you'll just be right, because it is his job. It's not your job to... But if you think about it in terms of... I'm kind of like pseudo-joking, but also not joking. Like, if you think about it in terms of... It's just not your job, so... If like your team loses because you're not doing right clicks, then fuck them. Like, then they suck. Like, that's just because they suck at Dota, and they like there are diminishing returns on Dazzle running into right click, obviously, because then you just die and then you don't get the Grave off, and the risk versus the reward of that, the reward is incredibly low, the risk is incredibly high. So it's just like, if your team doesn't win and you're doing your job, it's their fault. You've nothing to worry about after that. And I find a lot of the time in Dota, the reason that I'm kind of making this like pseudo joke monologue is because in Dota, a lot of the time we're driven by impulse. We're driven by wanting to do something because we feel like somebody is going to feel bad or somebody's going to get angry or we're going to lose the game, and that's going to feel like shit. And this is a way that you can think about it that will help you separate yourself from that emotion and separate yourself from making decisions based on what your impulses are telling you. You just got to think, what is my job? How can I make this game where it's not going to be my fault if we lose? And then you just move on from it. And in most games, you'll probably have a higher chance of winning because if you're just doing, if that attitude is forcing you to do your job every time, then hell yeah, man, whatever works.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that loses people games is they lose sight of what they're supposed to be doing, what their role is. And sometimes it's because it changes, but most of the time it's because they just kind of lose focus. And like there, you know, sometimes you might, maybe the 5 fights before that, you stood in the right position and graved, but for that one fight, forgot that you're supposed to be a graver and not a right clicker, and it lost you the fight, you know? Like, that is a very viable way for people to lose games.
The thing is, I look at this replay, and there's a chain of events where it's like, all right, did this guy do his job? Was Huskar graved? No. So therefore, Huskar can't do his job of doing damage. That team fight losing was your fault. If you grave him, it's kind of like you're taking the blame and then you're shoving it into, it's like, here it is. It's yours. And you can be successful with it, or you can be unsuccessful with it, but the ball is in your court. You're passing somebody the ball, but essentially you were just holding the ball. Somebody runs up and grabs it from you. It's strictly your fault because we didn't have the opportunity to see if the Huskar would fuck up in the team fight. There's no opportunity there because you didn't grave him, and you got to give him that opportunity and do your job. Just pass the ball, you know.
Agreed. Okay, so like,
nothing sexier than blame shoving. That's a funny way of putting it. I'm gonna go take a leak. I'll be right back.
All right. Thank God that asshole is gone. It's just us again, chat. It feels good. All right, what should we do? Should do something fun now that guy's gone, huh? Should we play some Apex Legends, or should we Smurf? Should we play some like 1K pubs or something like that? I don't know. What do you guys think? Anything fun, as long as Jenkins is not here. Fortnite, that's a really good idea. All right, where's my Fortnite launcher? Let's see. Fortnite.
Yeah, I really disagree. I don't think I have weird nipples.
All right.
Hey, man.
Well, okay, so chat wanted me to play Fortnite since you were gone and you were stopping all the fun. So I searched for Fortnite to install it, and this is what I found. So I don't know where to go from here, chat. I don't think I should click on Fortnite or play it because I don't know.
I can just see your Dota.
Well, that's because you're not part of this conversation, Jenkins. We were
okay.
trying to do something fun since you weren't here, but
yeah.
Anyway, I don't think I can.
I just feel like I should be involved because I don't know. I feel like we're friends, and I don't know. It's just like we've gotten pretty close lately, man. I don't know what is this bullshit. Okay, I'm fucking sick of this shit. Every time I give you a platter of gold and you shit all over it.
Wait,
you shit all over it. Like you're my dad and it's 5th grade all over again.
Sorry, you're just talking. I can't hear anything you're saying. Chat, you can't hear what Jenkins is saying, can you? He's just mouthing random sounds, I think, because I can't actually hear anything.
Really? Because when I watch your videos, that's basically what I think you're doing. It's just mouthing random sounds, trying to sound intelligent.
You're getting pretty aggressive. I mean, like, you literally just muted yourself and we couldn't hear what you're saying, so.
Excuse me, sir. You tried to install Fortnite on a Dota Alchemy PC. I'm going to Dota Cinema, dude. I'm done with this shit. I'm going to Game Leap.
Do it.
I'm out of here.
Do it.
I can't stand Banana Slam Jam, actually. He physically assaulted me at an event, so.
That's probably not a good thing to say on our channel, unless it's
He's
true.
A physical assaulter, a violent man, and an aggressive person, very similar to Caudle Guy, except not as psychotic.
That Caudle Guy joke never gets old. Okay, so Skywrath Mage.
It's not funny, actually, but whatever.
I went Sky position 4, but ended up being the only support. My early game wasn't spectacular. Mid game was pretty good, I think. I was 10-0 at some point, but we lost a fight. Things went downhill very fast. I want to know what I could have done to revert the situation.
It's a hard game to be Sky, to be honest. You're not great against Lifestealer. Like I would actually say that Sky has fallen off, like mainly because of the cores that people are picking. Let's see, what's a build on Sky? What are you doing?
He picked Sky into Lifestealer, actually.
Yeah, that's aggressive. That's aggressive. If you want like a Sky-like hero to beat Lifestealer, pick Ursa. Just run at him. Just get Orb of Venom, get Stout Shield, get Boots, get Windlace. Just run at him.
Yep.
Like, he'll hate you. He'll absolutely hate you for that.
Hey, bro, what is a good 5 aggressive support right now? Bane. Bane is really good.
No, Bane is broken. Bane is so broken.
It's so good. Enfeeble is actually one of the stupidest things that's ever happened to the game.
It's really dumb. You just, dude, not only did they give him Enfeeble, they buffed his Fiend's Grip so that it's 6 seconds. So it's like you Enfeeble somebody and you just grip them for 12 seconds or something dumb like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I'm just gripped forever.
You know it's really good against Lifestealer? BKB piercing disables, like Bane.
Bane and Shadow Demon. I watched actually I think it was Team. They picked Lifestealer today and they like instantaneously banned out the Bane.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah. Not giving them that.
Okay. What do you think about this starting build?
I wouldn't go Circlet because you can get a
Where's all your shit? Why do you have no gold?
Because the enemy or his team isn't supporting. So.
Yeah, but he has no tangos. Where'd they go?
You don't need tangos. Oh, wait a minute. 3 tangos to sniper. You don't need. You shouldn't give 3. You should never give 3 tangos to somebody because the cooldown on it is so long that 3 is like irrelevant. They'll have more regen by then. The third one is just like wasted inventory space. I guarantee you, this guy like almost never uses. He won't use the tango in the laning phase effectively. You can keep that tango. Give it to your axe. That would be good actually. Because you have such little regen, you probably just want to commit Sudoku anyway, so you don't need a tango. You just give it to your axe.
Yeah,
but you never want to give mid 3 tangos.
Would you go a couple mangoes here?
Nah, I just go 2 of the mantles and just
2 mantles. Yeah, you don't need the circlet.
Just nuke with you're not laning with axe. That's so unfortunate.
Oh, we're mutant axe. All right, nice. The axe is jungling. Seems good.
Seems about right.
Blocking for our team. I like to see you placing this ward earlier, since you're like one of the fastest heroes in the game. There's no reason not to go place the ward before the other team can get there.
Yeah, they're not going to see you.
And then
you block their easy cap too.
Yeah.
I'd honestly nuke the Lich here.
Yeah. So this is. I haven't seen you click on either of the heroes yet. Are you gonna click on Lich? Okay, you do. So you check his regen. That's really good. That's really important that you check the regen. You need to also check the Lifestealer, who has what the fuck? All right, definitely nuke the Lifestealer.
The thing is, though, he's against Centaur. Like I don't like nuking Lifestealer almost ever, just because until you have levels where you can kill him, he's just gonna Lifesteal it back straight from the Centaur.
True. Yeah.
That's
So
the thing.
Maybe Lich is better, and then just let the Centaur kind of body the Lifestealer because he has no regen.
Yeah, exactly. Like you focus on the Lich so that the Lich can't contest you. Pull the lane back. And then, boom, the lane is easier. But if you nuke the Lifestealer, Lich contests you on the pull, you can't pull it back, lane is hard. But if you just nuke the Lich, well, the lane is pushing back anyway. But you're trading regen for it is the thing. You try to get body blocks.
That's unfortunate. That guy definitely shouldn't have died that early on in the lane.
But you're not nuking. You haven't used a single Arcane Bolt yet. It's not like if you play, you don't pick this hero to not Arcane Bolt. It's one of the best trading mechanics in the game. This Lich could be at like 10% HP right now, maybe even dead.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
all right.
That was some insane shit going on.
I think you went to go tank the creeps because they were pushing into your tower, but you have no armor, so that's probably not.
You don't want to tank the creeps with Sky.
Don't want to do that.
Especially 3 ranged creeps. In fact, you want to push this back into them with 3 ranged creeps. Well, actually, this isn't bad. Holding the lane here isn't that bad. It's just that, yeah, that wasn't that bad. It's just that on Sky, it's
pretty rough.
A rift of pepperonis. But I can't say that I wouldn't do that if my Centaur was being an idiot in a game. I would definitely do that too. Because you can just kill yourself. So
don't buy an Oov on Skywrath Mage, please.
Where do you see Oov?
Somebody in chat says buy an Oov.
Oh. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Just use your Arcane Bolt. It's way better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Like, you want an extra 3 damage, or would you like to be doing like 120 damage every single time?
I would say with how hard this game is, by the way, just for you're a 5-roll support, so you're not going to get forearm really. You want to max your concussive. You only get 1 point in your Arcane Bolt. It's really unfortunate to me though that you've only used, like, the way you want to play this hero is just constantly nuking with the Arcane Bolt. Like, you've already missed your timing.
Yeah. Yeah, I would almost say this lane being hard is your fault.
You don't come back on Skywrath from, like, there's no way to win this lane after it's lost. This hero is like a strictly ahead hero, or you go gank or tri lane or something like that. Like, there's no helping Centaur anymore.
Yep. Okay, but he said that the lane went poorly anyway, so let's go ahead and skip ahead. He's 4-0 and 2.
So you maxed Arcane Bolt. I would consider that to be a mistake, just because you don't have the. Wait a minute. Actually, you're kind of farmed, but even still, like, you're against a Huskar, so you just want the burst damage of your silence ulti plus the concussive shot. Like, that's actually way better for burst damage. And if you get close to fights, like if you're going for the Tranquil Boots build, if you get close to fights and try to just sit there Arcane Bolting people, you'll probably die anyway. So it's like, really, the only situation where I would go max Arcane Bolt now is if you're essentially functioning as a core and just destroying. But other than that, I would go for the concussive, because that allows you to do more supporting stuff. It costs way less mana. You can do it from longer range. It's better for burst. Like, you can see how little your burst damage is there. And you have an axe too, so you actually have like, if you can just burst somebody down in an axe call, it's very good.
Yeah, you should definitely be looking to work with the axe. Anytime he calls somebody, that's where you drop your silence.
As a 5, I guess that's actually kind of the most important part. As a 5, I really doubt that you're going to have the space to, like, function as a core in this game until it's like very late game. So I would definitely go for. I wouldn't even go for like a bunch of null talismans in this game. I'd probably go for like crowns into Atos, which you are going for Atos. I like that, but I'd go for it like even earlier. Maybe even like an urn.
Yeah, urn would be super good this game, and you can guarantee that none of these guys will go for it. It's just like if you have like 5 or 4 cores already, it just seems like redundant to me to build into more damage. Yeah. Even though I personally like going for that build on Skywrath, but only when it's like you are when you're the 4, when you're the one that's actually doing a lot of damage. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to look at where this bad fight is. Okay, so right around 35, at where we are.
God, you're huge. But once again, I think the damage is like super redundant with these items. Like, you could have Glimmer, Force Staff.
Yeah, this guy's pure damage. This guy, pure damage. This guy, initiation tank. This guy,
well, I mean, the Blade Mail. Like, why do you have a Blade Mail and Centaur when you have a Blade Mail and Axe? Yeah. Like, Blade Mail is just damage. It's so bad. He should have like a Vlad's or a Force or a Pipe or an Aghanims, like something that actually protects his team, because it's the same concept in my opinion. Like, I do like the Atos though. I feel like having the like non-committal setup of the Atos as a 5/4, amazing, super amazing. But
I also know that I can guarantee that you went the Atos because you wanted to get solo kills because you're a Skywrath mage. It wasn't with the intention of being able to like start fights for your team.
I personally, I really think going, like, there's a huge difference between going the max concussive build really lets you do, more with little.
Mm-hmm.
Like to max Arcane Bolt and have a huge impact, you need to be fucking huge, because especially if you're a 5, just because you're gonna be lacking like a lot of utility stuff. That's a good taunt.
The Lich.
Yeah.
The Nature's Prophet.
Camera.
Yeah, the camera was sketchy.
I would not stand close at all to this. I would just be standing back. Although they're kind of dead on a bunch of people. But I'd be pretty careful. You're doing a pretty good job staying back. As soon as these guys come, I'd be... So if you had like a 4-staff, you could be saving your team potentially if they get gone on here. Which Sniper didn't get gone on, surprisingly, by that Lifestealer. I'm really impressed by the enemy team's ability to not kill the important targets.
Axe goes in completely alone. You just want some more kills.
See the burst that Concussive does to Huskar?
Yeah.
I love maxing Concussive against that hero. Because you just... Also, the slow it increases on the Concussive when you max it out. So it's way better for, like, bursting people with the Ancient Seal plus ulti. Because it's like, what, 15% more slow max level? Something like that?
I'm confused. When did you take this bad fight that was going to lose you the game? Because you guys are like...
Did they win?
They're at 8k, then they're at 11k, then you finish this barracks trade at 14k, 13k net worth. What the fuck?
Who won? Who won this?
Radiant one.
The Radiant. Oh, the Radiant one. Okay. What is it? What that dude? That win probability? What?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Holy shit.
Let's go to 50 because I'm kind of confused as to, like, when this throw happened. Because right now, 14k up, like...
I think Sheepstick's a pretty good choice, just because you have the axe. But this late in the game, you realistically need some follow up. Like the axe isn't enough to just kill somebody 100 to 0, possibly.
Oh wait, okay, so you died a little bit farther back.
I am really concerned about, like, I don't think any of the enemy team would be able to kill you if you had a Glimmer Cape.
Yeah, nobody's gonna buy detection first and foremost.
Well, yeah, Huskar, Nakes, and Gyro won't, and if Nature's Prophet does, he's not a threat to you.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, this is where you die. What's happening?
Die a lot, apparently. Respawn and die.
No, this is the very first death. Okay, so you're pushing mid racks. Lifestealer's not even there. No TP. Yeah, it's
that happens. That happens. So you're standing far back. Camera's in the fight. You walk in. I would immediately get back now. Like as soon as that happens.
Oh, you're chasing kills. Why? It doesn't even matter. You basically killed him anyway. Okay.
Well, yeah, you just want to secure the racks. Like that's all you want to. That's the whole point of. Damn, Sniper's peeping hard.
Hey, I mean, you guys are still owning here. Lifestealer is taking your racks for free as a trade. But you got mid racks, you're getting bottom racks. I don't know why the axe is hitting tier 4s. I assume these guys just feed. No, you guys just lose racks for free to this Lifestealer during this time. Okay.
PL went bottom died to him, I think.
Okay.
Probably for similar reasons to like the Fountain Dive. Is it like you TP back? I assume this guy just went and tried to kill the Lifestealer. It's not about killing him. It's about preventing him from getting the barracks. Yes. And like going for the gyro that you died for, it's not about killing him, it's about preventing him from stopping you from getting his racks.
Yeah.
And now this has kind of snowballed where your team is feeding. They should have gotten out too. It's just that they were overwhelmed by the fact that the Lifestealer was taking your base, and they're like, "Oh, we need to get something big." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you guys fed them a bunch of gold. Your lead's down to 9k.
I would say the big mistake here is not really on you, though. Like, your team staying is the big mistake, but, you know, it is your replay, so.
Also having some sort of defensive items, because your team still has none. Like, you guys just don't have any defensive items. Your Sniper, I mean, he has a Hurricane Pike, but, like, that's not even very much. This
I'm
guy-
sure he has that for the increased attack range.
Yeah,
and
it's not.
stats that
It's
it
not
gives.
for the actual like defensive capabilities of it.
It's just like, I may as well build this into a force staff eventually.
Exactly.
Yeah, like force is amazing against every single one of their heroes. Lich has a single target stun. Nature's Prophet has Sprout. Gyrocopter has Rocket, which he'll drop his bombs on. Huskar jumps on one person. Lifestealer jumps on one person. Every single one of their heroes, other than arguably Gyro, focuses one person. So a Force Staff or a Glimmer would not only be good this game, it would be broken. It would be game winning.
It would win you the game.
Yeah, they would hate your life.
But that would also require you to change your mentality of not being necessarily the cannon that does all the damage. You'd have to play a little bit more like a Dazzle and kind of like sit back and wait for your team to be in trouble and throw.
You can do a bit of both on Sky. Yeah. That's one thing that I've learned is you can do a bit of both.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially at this late in the game, it's like you have 4 cores. You have a sniper. You don't. Damage is redundant. Damage is really redundant at this point with a peep lord on your team. He doesn't
what
have
are you guys doing? You guys just walk in with no creeps. Why?
Oh my god. Oh my god. No. I mean, to be fair, if you had a Force Glimmer, you can actually save that idiot for being an idiot. That's the great thing. Is that like if you get these defensive items, you can save your dumbasses, and they can go full damage all they want because you can save them. You're like, I know, you're dumb. You didn't go for defensive items. Don't worry, I got you. And then like it's actually good because then they're fully committed to damage. You have that nice balance, but only because you built those defensive items for them. Yeah. It's like you can make up for their lack of positioning and lack of being good Dota players by building those defensive items. It just happens too. Pickoffs happen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing, right? Is like I found one of the reasons I found so much success playing support in Dota these days is just because I know that I can make up for my team's like deficiency. I can make it for the deficiencies in my team's positioning, their itemization, their vision control, their split pushing. I know that I can do that all as a support. And most other support players don't do enough of that. Like, if you notice that your team is literally just going straight damage, because 80 to 90% of the time, that's all your teammates are going to build. Lower MMR you are, like, it's pretty close to 100% of the time. They're never going to build anything to keep themselves alive. So if you just simply fill that hole on your team, you're going to have an overwhelming amount of damage because that's all that your team is building, but you're still going to have defensive capabilities because you built it for your team. And the other team is not going to have that.
The less defensive items you have, the more broken each defensive item that you can get is.
Exactly.
Like, if you have shitloads of damage, and you can protect shitloads of damage with one single 2,000 gold item, chances are that item is probably value.
Exactly. Okay, so we're on to the next replay, which is from Professor Ravioli, and it's mid puck. Played puck mid, wasn't sure what more I could do for my team to secure us this victory. This seems to be a very similar theme. We're all not sure what we could do to help our team game. Not sure if I don't know the hero well enough or if the hero is too weak right now in the meta. This was one of my first games I'd played in months and my first puck game in about 4.
I don't think puck is weak in the meta. I think puck is great. Puck's in a good spot.
Puck is
pretty
damn good.
I was gonna try to make a video on like what are like the worst heroes in Dota recently, and I couldn't. I looked through the heroes and I was thinking like I either saw heroes that I thought were shitty but were getting picked in competitive, or heroes that are not getting picked in competitive but are destroying in pubs, like Ricky's and stuff. Like Ricky's untouched in competitive, but I see Fear playing it. I see tons of people playing Ricky and owning in pubs, so it's like I can't put him in the ball. Sniper has a place in Dota. Like Pudge has a place in Dota. If you try lane, like, how can I call Pudge the worst hero in Dota? You know, like it's just there. I actually think that right now Dota is very balanced. There are really good heroes at the top, but once you get down to like the lower levels and they get nerfed, it's very balanced.
Yep.
Like I would say Slark is a pretty bad hero, but is he one of the like?
Is he the worst?
Is he terrible?
Hero?
No, he's not terrible. He's not terrible. I think Sven's pretty bad. Is he terrible? No, Sven's great. Sven's amazing. He's not as good as he was. Like Sniper's amazing against Medusa. Amazing against OD.
Yep.
He's barely ever picked. He usually sucks, but he's amazing against those heroes, which are amazing. So it's like, fuck. There's no bad heroes in Dota right now. They're all pretty good.
Yeah.
Lion kind of sucks. I see Lion lose a lot. But he gets extra finger damage every time he fingers you. That's insane. That's
He's
nuts.
also like the second highest picked hero in all of Dota right now. Because people just love damage. That right there just proves people love damage more than anything else in the game. They just want to blow people up.
God.
Go play a shooter game.
What on earth?
Dota is not a
press button and kill somebody.
It's not a team deathmatch game. Alright, null talisman, branch, no tangos.
People don't start with that usually anymore. They go for like two what's it called? Mantles of Intelligence, maybe 2 branches, 1 circlet, and then like a Fairy Fire. Just gives you more damage, and you'll eventually build into 2 null tallies as a mid hero anyway, so and then it also just gives you more it straight up just gives you more stats with how the null tally stats have changed. More base damage.
So we missed our block. We're playing against Sniper. Kind of a problem.
Can you go back? Can you go back? I want to like missing the block is actually something I can address. Go to player perspective. Okay, so let's watch the block. So first and foremost, I would suggest double tap your hero portrait right now. Like I want to watch the camera work. So let's watch when the block fails.
Yep, that's because the camera got too far.
So you moved your mouse. You moved your mouse to edge pan, and you didn't put your mouse far enough, so it didn't edge pan, and that screws you up.
Yep.
Look at this. You move the camera. Move the camera. Actually, you did edge pan, but you still while you're edge panning this.
Right here, he goes for the edge pan. He is right here. He goes. Oh, trying to edge pan didn't work.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was seeing your mouse. Yeah. So you tried to edge pan, it didn't work, and then you failed to block. Double tap your hero portrait. It'll center it on the hero. Makes blocking 1,000 times easier.
Yep. So
and this lane is
free camera. I just double click on puck, following.
And then all you have to do is do the movements, which is way easier than move. You know, like that's fucking hard. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Alternatively, you can just hold your hero select key, whatever that is, if it's 1 or F.
Mine's on my mouse, so that like doesn't work for me. It's awkward to be like doing all this stuff with my right hand.
Right. That's what I do to block. Is I just hold 1 and then I have to just go back and forth.
I do the old double tap the hero portrait or the hero select key. Either works.
Yep.
All right. So now the block, very hard lane.
No regen.
I would probably send out tangos right now, just because you have no regen at all. This guy can completely bully you. So Sniper's actually a bit of a lane counter to Puck until Puck gets level 6 and gets some levels and can kill Sniper. Like, Puck has kill threat, but Sniper should win the lane through harass.
Yep.
But that first wave already is pretty hard because he just zoned you completely. So I would definitely send out some regen. This guy has the right starting item build.
Sniper. Yeah.
Yeah. Relatively. He doesn't have any branches, but he had to buy his own tangos, so.
Yep.
So you get the last hit. It's good.
Still don't have any regen sent out, which is pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, because you could be trading with the Sniper and threatening to kill, like trading with him is totally ineffective when you have no regen. And if you try to just rush a bottle here, there's gonna be like a 2-minute period where he's just destroying you. I mean, it's already starting. We're already seeing it happen.
Yeah. If you manage to not die here, I'm going to be impressed. Yeah, you're dead. And interestingly, that's your only death for the entire game.
That's just due
7-0 and 10, 7-1 and 10, something like that. So
that is honestly just due to lack of regen. That's it. And you had ample opportunity to send it out. That's all.
Yep.
So now the lane's much harder for you. Well, way easier because you've regen, but much harder in terms of like relative if you had regen in the first place.
Because you're a level behind.
I'd be super aggressive on this guy right now. Just like punch him or behind him and just start right clicking him. Because if you clicked him, you'd see they had no regen. He just got it on the courier. I'm assuming. Oh yeah, she has no regen. Yeah, you could have just zoned him out of the lane and had a free lane for if you or behind him, just abusing the fact that he's really low HP. He's a low armor hero. You right click better than he does. He has low HP, so he's threatened that he'll die and you won't die. Yeah, you could have definitely just bullied the shit out of him.
Yeah, you have like 20 more damage. So you should be abusing that to trade as much as possible, especially when you notice he has no regen. Okay. Anyway.
What I wanna can you slow it down for a second? I was kind of like observing something.
Okay. You want me to go back?
No, we're good. We're good. I'm just watching the last inning. It looks to me like the way that you're timing your last hits is through move commands. And that's very problematic because the turn rate's going to screw you up. And you're issuing a move command, which means your hero's going to move, which is also like screwing up your timings for last hits. I think you should be doing a lot more S canceling on these creeps to get denies and stuff. Like there's situations like that I'm seeing a lot where you're not really timing denies, you're not really timing last hits, you're just kind of hitting, and then if the last hit's within last hit range, you're letting it go, but you're kind of moving and doing random stuff in between. When if you're just sitting there and S canceling your attacks, standing right on the creep, there's no way Sniper gets any last hits in this lane if you bully him a little bit, the fact that he has no regen, like, but you're just kind of right-clicking and then moving, right-clicking, moving, and then if there's a deny, but the problem with like, okay, so obviously the problem with attacking and doing this is that if your attack is on cooldown and a deny or last hit comes up, you're missing it a ton because of this.
Yeah.
Like, you missed a ton of range creep denies because you were just attacking the creeps, and when the range creep deny is about to be deniable, you don't have the cooldown on it. Your attack is still on cooldown. So that's a problem. But even I would argue that just moving to cancel your auto attacks to get last hits is incorrect as well, because then you have turn rate to account for. The only thing you want to account for is, I can tell you how to fix that deny, by the way, very easily, that he just denied the range creep. But this is a huge issue for sure with your laning. Like, you should not just be auto attacking because it's putting your auto attack on cooldown, which means your timings are fucked up. You should not be moving to cancel auto attacks because then you have turn rates. And then also, if you're going to push the lane out, hit the range creep once or twice first, depending on your level and orb, and then you will not miss that last hit. You don't even need to, like, you can just hit this creep. He's going to deny that.
Yeah.
You just gave him a free deny.
Do
but if
the right-click damage before you cast the spell every
Exactly.
time.
Exactly. Then he's fighting with, like, a 300 damage spell to deny creep, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally not going to happen. That's why, like, you should never, with Puck, Puck, Queen of Pain, you should literally never miss range creep last hits. And as a result, you should never miss range creep denies either. Because if you're preemptively killing the... Yeah, he can't kill you. If you're preemptively killing your range creep, then you have time to set up to deny the range creep that he's trying to get. But yeah, really the most important thing to me in terms of your laning mechanics right now is just the fact that you're missing tons of last hits and denies because you're A, moving, and B, just attacking, which your attack is just on cooldown all the time. Like, these three laning mechanics that we've talked about are enough to make you, like, significantly better of a laner. And then, as a result, significantly better of a mid-game player because you'll have more farm, and then, of course, it snowballs from there.
I'd also probably send myself out a ward. Because, like, this guy should die if he's not going to get more...
You could honestly just coil him right now, probably.
Yeah, he's been very low HP for a lot of this. So, happening with the camera.
But I get if you don't feel like you're strong enough to kill him. Because you should have a bigger lead at this point, basically. So maybe you're not sure, because it's like, oh, this guy's kind of having a good lane. I don't know if I can kill him. Like, honestly, you're even with him, 21-9. If you just did the things that I said, which is like not just randomly auto-attacking, setting up for the denies by S-canceling, and then preemptively like hitting the range creeps to push the lane out instead of pushing the lane with orb and then hitting the range creeps and sometimes getting denied. Like, you can... What's the word for it? There's a word for it. It's basically like setting up the wave for your spells to last hit them instead of... So you're probably just going to kill this guy because he's just trading with you like a moron.
Well, he was coiled.
But you could have 40 last hits right now.
Yeah.
Maybe not 40, but like 30 to 40 and like 20 denies if you had been doing these things. Like, pushing the lane is fine because it lets you go do this. You're going to Shrine. The reason you can Shrine and it's not bad is because you push the lane. So there's nothing to farm there. You're pressuring the tower. When you get back, the lane will be there. You've lost nothing.
Yep.
So you can do that, but if you're missing last hits in order to do that, then it's just worse. It's not like it's still okay, but you still there's no reason to miss those.
Oh, very aggressive.
Goodness.
Somehow snipers here. What the fuck? Why is Sniper over here all of a sudden?
Good question.
Anyway. Okay, so I guess we'll go towards the end. That's all. That was all really good information about laning. Definitely stuff that I noticing as well. And I can also demo afterwards what Jenkins means about the difference between moving to cancel an auto attack and S canceling and why it's so much better to S cancel. Okay, so we'll just go to like, this is very even, and then all of a sudden, boom. So, right about 30 minutes. Right about 30.
Relatively even game. Aghanim Scepter, good item.
Happened. This is where it happened.
Here we are.
On your base. Got waves. Go up, that's good. Now you can also push out another wave.
God, Sven just hitting jungle creeps at this point. Like, everybody's just farming. Pubs.
There's no pressure being put on the map at all.
Yeah, if I'm Puck in this game, I'm just bot constantly, like, sitting in the tree, shoving in that lane. So when they do this stupid shit, they're getting raxed.
Yep. Okay, so
Nice coil.
Coil. Orb across.
I don't know about right-clicking. I would not right-click on Puck ever in fights. It doesn't do anything. It just puts you in, like, potentially harm's way. Okay, so I would set up to, like, cut the wave now. Like, I would just orb this wave out.
And orb through it.
Yeah, I'd probably nuke it and then just blink. Like, I would just do whatever I can to kill the wave. And like, if they chase you, then you don't get raxed, and you have buyback anyway. So
yeah, much better to do it at that point. Okay, so you lose the mid tower. Team is coming back up.
Nice. You have so if you move your camera to the bottom, you could have gone for Sniper there. I'm assuming he has a Shadow Blade and nobody has detection. You should buy a gem. I'm just assuming that's okay. So he has a blink. Never mind. I was totally incorrect in my assumptions. However, you could have gone for him if you had moved your camera down too.
Yep. He's like right there. I feel like you could jump over. I mean, yes, the Slark is important.
The sniper's protected by just your camera movement here.
Yeah.
Like, you actually don't know where he is because the camera's just not moving down to him.
Right.
Try using camera grip if you want for, like, situations like this. Camera grip's pretty nice for that. Yeah, this sniper's the most important hero in the game. Whenever there's a sniper game, he does so much damage, and if you get on him, you just win fights.
Yep.
So you definitely like, you can leave the Slark to your team the moment the line gets on him, because your team is respawning, they're gonna kill him, and then just go for the sniper, and you could win the game right there if he has no buyback, or get at least force him to, like, kill him, and then you can get objective, get Roshan, something like that.
Yep. So it's still relatively even. Yeah, this game ends.
Orchid, that's ballsy.
Going for Bloodthorn.
It's not that bad. I don't think it's that bad. I prefer sheep, but it's not the
Rapid
worst.
Fire.
Sure, whatever. Go for it. It's not the worst.
Okay, your team randomly dying mid.
This is good split pushing. I like what you just did there.
Yeah.
Do that more. That's good shit. It's just, it seems like you're doing it as a response because you're losing, and instead you should just be doing you're winning.
Do it all the time on Puck, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. He's like one of the best lane pushers in Dota. Just one hits waves.
Yep. And is very hard to punish. Even if you gank him, he's very hard to punish.
He's not gonna die, yeah. It's like Nature's Prophet. He just TPs in, spawns treants. Have fun ganking him.
Okay, now you've lost 4 heroes, the game's over. So. I don't know. I don't really know what you could do there, but
nothing. It's over.
Yeah.
So
the game could have been won by
we saw,
to some extent.
Yeah,
better.
Yeah, we saw mistakes.
Yeah, creating a lot more pressure. I mean, you're only 19k net worth, which is the highest in the game, but that could be significantly higher. Like
the game-losing fight was not your fault, but
yeah,
there's still like if you kill the sniper in that fight where you don't have him on camera, for example, that could be the game right there. Like in Dota, all it takes is one pick off, and then you take Roshan off of that, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, they have Rosh, we can't fight them. Oh shit, we lost towers. Oh shit, now we can't leave our base. Oh shit, now we have a 20k gold deficit. You win. Like that's how Dota works. I mean, today I watched Eternal Envy sit in base for like 30 minutes, win one fight, and then have like a 25k gold lead from a 15k gold deficit. And they were losing the whole game, and they just sit in base. One thing happens that leads to another, that leads to another, leads to Roshan, that leads to towers, that leads to the enemy team being choked out. And with the draft that the enemy team had, they couldn't fight without a gold lead. So it's like one single thing. Is this how many replays do we have left, by the way?
We've got 3. This is Pete playing mid Dragon Knight.
Okay. I'm gonna grab. No, I woke up early today and my head is hurting, so I'm gonna grab some tea. I'm gonna put the kettle on. I just want to have an idea of how much longer.
Yep.
Three's not bad though. I'm just gonna boil some water.
Sure. Hey, this is all after our coaching session. Oh, that's not. Wait, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's all after our coaching session. Nice job, Pete. Yes. That's a good point. Well, Jenkins is doing this. Okay, let's do it on... I don't know. We'll do it on Ursa. Sure, or PA. That works. Okay, so what we're talking about is you can cancel your attacks like this, where I'm moving to cancel my attack, or you can cancel your attack by pressing S, right? Because S stops you doing whatever you're doing. So if I wanted to go to this creep, but it's not ready to hit yet, and I wanted to set myself up for it, I can click on the creep and then just press S, and then I'm gonna sit here. And now I'm in position for it. S. Now I'm in position for it.
Yeah, he's my partner, so I have to deal with him.
Walk up to this. S. Okay, now it's ready to get last hit. Walk up to this creep. Click on it. Press S. Now it's ready to get last hit. Walk up to this creep. Press S.
Did I ruin your demonstration?
Nope, not at all. Walk up to this creep. Press S. Okay, now it's ready. Right? And that's the difference between me being like, okay, I want to deny this one, but I don't want to attack it yet, so I'm going to move. Cancel. Oh, fuck, I missed. Okay. So that's basically just what I'm trying to explain is that, I mean, to be honest, I cancel my attacks by moving a lot as well. And I know about the S canceling to, like, set yourself up. If you watch BSJ, for instance, demonstrate this, he'll always go, okay, like that, basically. Gonna click on the creep he wants to go for. He's basically not moving very much unless somebody's like hitting him the whole time, but it's pretty much always something like this. Okay, the creep is, you know, about half health, but this is the one I'm going to attack. S. Okay, now it's ready. And that's how you set yourself up to get last hits, as opposed to going like, okay, I want to go for this one, but not ready yet. Okay, now I'm like, I have to like somehow fight through my turn rate to get to these creeps. Okay, I don't want to do that one yet. Oh, moving too much. Oh, okay, now I'm back. Like, that's a bad habit, and that's something that I do all the time. But this one, it's so much easier if I just do this, right? I turn myself into the creep. Wait for it to get low. If I had any skills, I would get those last hits.
You were last hitting when you were demonstrating the shitty way of doing it.
Exactly, because that's my habitual way of doing it, right? But yeah,
it's like you did that ironically.
Maybe it was ironically.
Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, it's really shitty. You're just fighting with your turn rate. It's like what Donnie said.
Yep.
What's the point? Why do that when you could just not?
Yep. Okay, so Pete says, I had won the lane heavily. The game fell apart. What could I have done to try and save the game? The other lanes were crumbling around me, and we had a jungle jug until minute 18. Highest net worth, I had a 6.6 minute 23-second Midas. I figured the Radiance was okay to get, taking into consideration me getting hooked or PA going on me. Maybe SNY first or even AC, but my team crumbled. The Bristle was crying about me laning for so long. I was doing so well. Why leave and not take tower, especially with the Midas? I feel like we should have avoided fighting, farmed up, and then explode on their faces. Was I wrong? Thank you. I mean, it sounds like a pretty good Dota game plan.
Who are we looking at?
This is the Dragon Knight.
Okay.
So this is his item build. He ended up 1-8 after winning the lane.
Okay, we can skip the lanes. Give the people what they want.
The exploding on the face.
I would love to do that right now. I've been thinking about that all day.
Alright, easy there, buddy. There's another website for that. Another streaming website.
Twitch.
Exactly.
Real life section.
Yeah, IRL. Twitch IRL.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Twitch ASMR.
Just chatting. Just chatting.
The ASMR section, that's where you want to go.
Blackpink. Sounds like a guy in Immortal.
Okay. Oh, wait. We're on the Dragon Knight. Highest net worth.
So, it's just a pudge.
Leaving the lane here doesn't
I would
make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's especially with the siege creep. I would definitely have some sort of mana regen. I guess you have Crystal Maiden. I would not have a point in Dragon Tail. Just like, and honestly, at 10 minutes in, you should have the enemy tower as Dragon Knight, and you should be moving on to another tower.
Yeah, who was he laning against? Curious.
Pudge. Like a useless Pudge.
Oh, it's a mid Pudge? Yeah.
Yes.
You should absolutely have the mid tower by 10 minutes against a Pudge.
I mean, especially with Max Dragon Blood, you just walk up to the tower and hit it and get hit by it because you'll tear through it. And then on every cooldown after that, even with a Midas, you should take towers. Like that's the purpose of Dragon Knight, is that it doesn't do damage. It's like you just take towers and are tanky, and nobody can deal with you. And if you don't abuse that timing, it's like you'd be better off picking a Spectre mid, and going for the same items.
Right. Okay, yeah, so 15 minutes in, tower's still up. That's definitely a problem.
That's too late. Yeah, that's too late for sure.
Yeah, even with the Midas. So, like you said, you're like, why leave the lane when things are going so well? Yes, you have 6.2k net worth, but you could also have, like, 8k net worth with 2 tower kills, I feel like, at this point.
Well, and then that would get your team more net worth. At 15 minutes, like, if you go and look at every bracket DK players, and you go to the higher and higher brackets, every bracket higher, you'll see that they have another tower before a certain minute mark.
Yep.
Like in a really good game, DK will have the mid tower before like 7 minutes, maybe 6 minutes if he's huge.
Yep.
The bottom tower, maybe even the tier 2 before like 10, 12 minutes. Like on every single ulti cooldown, you should just be like, pop it. Just pop it right now.
Yep.
Breathe fire out this lane. Yeah, breathe fire out this lane. It's pretty dumb. Like it has 50% uptime, right? So like 50% of the time in this game so there's basically like 7 minutes and 30 seconds of this game that you should be hitting towers. I would be absolutely surprised if they managed to kill you here, and they actually do. My God, holy shit! But in any case, they shouldn't be able to make that gank right there because you should have the tower. I think that's a big problem in this game, at least with respect to like if you're playing Dragon Knight or Pugna or any of these mid pushing heroes and you're not abusing their early push timing, then it's another hero that you should be playing because, or you should just do it. But like if you don't want to, I'm just saying if you don't want to play like that, it's not your style. That's fine. You don't have to feel bad about that.
Right.
It's just that if you're playing DK, you need to abuse this timing, or you're just picking a hero that in a role where another hero could just fulfill that role a lot better.
Right. It would be like
you
picking
could just be a
PA
Spectre
and building
right now.
only like defensive items or something like that.
Right. Or picking, I don't know, Pudge and building like Battle Fury. It's like, why are you not just an anti-mage?
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you not just an anti-mage?
Exactly.
I get it. Go carry. That's fine.
Yeah.
I always have that where I'll play in these I'll play in like divine rated pubs, and I'll have people walk up and steal CS from me as a support. And it's like, I'm not mad that you're taking CS. I'm mad that you're a fucking support and you're taking CS. Like, why don't you just pick a core and then do that? What is it? Like, I think people in Divine have this mentality where it's like, I'm going to contest you for CS because I'm so much better than you. I can get this. I can contest you. Something. It's like some mental thing like that.
I'm going to ruin your game because I'm so good at this game. You don't
exactly.
Deserve
they just
to
sit
win.
there, and it's like, well, I'm taking this because I'm good. I need the farm right now. And it's like, just pick a core, dude. It's fine if you play core. But they're like, no, I don't want that responsibility. It's like, well, maybe don't be such a big baby then. Steal CS from me. Like, take CS. But be a core, that's fine. It's like literally for no reason other than just taking the CS.
Yeah, this is what you could have done a long time ago.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Walk up and just tank the tower. Like, you have 18 armor and 23 HP regen.
Pudge can't even kill you, even though he has like a decent game. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, Pudge is like, he was even less of a threat than he is now earlier in the game. He was not a big deal early on at all.
Yep.
And now he's kind of huge, but even still, you can see how easy it is for you to walk up and take the tower.
Yep.
So you could probably have like 2 tier 2s at this point and just be owning.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Radiance, by the way?
Sure, it's fine.
I would definitely buy a bottle in this lane, by the way.
Some sort of mana regen or like send out clarities. You need something.
Bottle, soul ring, clarities, something like that.
Midas Radiance is fine though. I have no issues with Midas Radiance, especially in pubs, because games will always go late. When you're farming, you should be on strength treads, by the way.
Why are you and the Ursa both farming in Ancient Camp together?
That's true. That is definitely redundant. It's like, I mean, with Ursa as well, like, he's going to do so much more damage to the Ancients than you, that you hitting the creeps doesn't help him kill it any quicker.
And just this in general, like, anytime there's 2 heroes that are trying to play greedy in the same tiny triangle of farm, I just get really triggered because it's just like, just go somewhere else. One of you needs to go somewhere else. You can't have 2 cores farming the same 3 camps. You're in experience range for each other, so you're getting half the experience, but you're also getting half the farm, and then you have to walk somewhere else, which is like really far away to get more farm. It doesn't make any sense. And like, I know that you are technically the mid, and this guy is probably some asshole who's decided to play Ursa as if he's a position 1 despite being a position 3 or 4. But even if that's the case, YSPs, man. Sometimes you gotta let the YSPs do what they're gonna do. And you can make space for all these fucking YSPs who are sitting in the fucking jungle doing fucking nothing by pushing the towers with your DK form.
Even if you go Midas Radiance, that's still fine.
Yeah.
To do that.
Because, dude, here's the thing. Like, if you're pushing and you have Midas Radiance and you go here and you feed and you get this tower to half HP, who fucking cares? You got 4 cores farming in the jungle and you have a Midas.
God, look how little creeps are being pushed in this game right now. Blues jungling, light blues jungling, pinks jungling. Everybody's jungling
together. They're literally taking the same camps together.
Yeah, that's
CM's like, what am I supposed to do? My cores are all in the jungle.
pretty inefficient stuff. Like, oh man, why do I always end up with no farm? Why is my team never farmed? It's like a lot of the time you're actually the one stealing the farm for your team or the reason they're not farming. This enemy team is running around and getting kills. Like, they actually have a good distribution of space makers, people farming, people setting up wards.
They have PA farming alone because he's not super ready to fight, doesn't have BKB or anything, and the rest of his team is all together running around and getting kills. So it's like, that's wonder you guys lost this game.
That's good Dota, yeah, that's good Dota. You should lose this game with them doing this.
Yeah.
The only way that you can make up for your team being morons like this is by split pushing like a madman.
This can't happen. You actually should never hit a jungle camp for this entire game with 4 cores on your team.
Yeah, you gotta be playing like a nutcase bot lane. Like the bot lane has been free farm too for so long. It's like you get more farm down there as well. Look at it, just chill. I like seeing two creep waves meet like that and just die to each other. Always makes me just cringe inside.
Yeah,
it's like they're just waiting to be farmed. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hell yeah. But you'll admit it, you only went over there because all the camps were dead.
I want to see where you go next, too.
Well, there's 2 bounties, so that's a start.
That's really important to me, is where you go next after these creep waves that are presented to you on a silver platter. I'd also just hit each creep twice and then breathe fire it and then go get the bounties. Way faster to do stuff that way. Instead of right-clicking every single creep. Like, part of split pushing is doing it very quickly. So you want to... No, the creep wave is right here. You want to push this in first, get it going this direction, and then you can farm this on your way back out if you feel like you're in danger. But
at the very least, you can like breathe fire it to set it in the right direction, because it's there anyway, right? So may as well. I've even been farming jungle camps, and then I see creep waves meet closely, and I'll leave the jungle camp at like 20% HP.
Yeah,
and go push the wave because it's that important.
It's gonna be there anyway. It's gonna be there when you get back. It's not a big deal, right?
Exactly. That's like jungle farm is so like static.
Yeah.
There's nothing happening in the jungle. Nothing at all. You don't need to worry about anything happening.
Just like this game. Nothing happening in the jungle.
Just fighting to fight.
Yep. And I mean, I would like the fact that you have this radiance and you're stuck at like you've been stuck at like 600 gold for the last 5 or 6 minutes. Just go finish your radiance. Whatever you have to do, just go finish your radiance. Don't go to a fight until you have your radiance. And just like sometimes you just got to make sure you have that item, because right now you just have 3,800 gold of like okay right-click damage in your inventory. That's about it.
It's not that great.
Okay. Next replay.
Do you have them? Do you need me to get it for you? Where are they?
I've got them. We have a spreadsheet that
I'm
our
useless.
boy JCJ made for us.
I opened it. I couldn't see anything in there.
Oh, well, you just don't have access to it because you suck.
Oh, shit. Oh, I don't. You're right. I gotta go on the Dota Alchemy account. Password is whatever Donnie's mama's name is. 69? Fuck.
Oh, God. We have another Hawkilian replay. Why?
Oh, my God.
I'm kidding.
Kuroki, come on, man. You get off to this.
I watched Kuroki play today. He played carry.
Yeah, we're about to watch him play, so. Ancient Apparition. That's such a Hawkilianer pick, too.
Yeah.
AA, Dazzle, Oracle, Lich.
All these, like, high-skill heroes. AA is a very high-skill hero, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
And his main question was how to deal with a tanky high regen offlaner.
I'm assuming that's DK? Yeah.
It sounds another winning replay. What's your problem, dude?
Oh my god, winning. Winning.
Who wins? Who wins, honestly? Why would you bother winning? What's the point?
What's wrong with
Donald Trump only cares about winning, and look at that guy. He sucks.
Yeah. Jesus, have you seen his hairline? Come on.
If that's winning, I don't want to fucking win, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'd rather look like Hillary. I'm getting there.
Yeah, you're getting close to that hairstyle. It's pretty close.
You're not wrong.
Okay. Fast forward to the lanes.
30 seconds to battle.
Yank.
Get him.
This is definitely not like a Crusader replay style of it. What's your deal, man? So much smurfing, Hawkilianer.
You're on the Zeus. So you send out a sentry. I don't think you need to deward it. You don't have to. It's a Zeus. You just let him deward it. Yeah, there's a mistake. Found a mistake in Hawkilianer's replay. You could just let the Zeus deward. Yeah, ping the ward. Let him get it. Free deward.
Okay, so this lane is definitely very hard because both of basically how you play AA in the lane is you want to just use Killing Touch off of cooldown and harass people who have low regen or are squishy. But in this one, it's I don't know. You still do it because it's so cheap. It's 30 mana for like 120 gold at level 2 or 120 extra damage at level 2.
90 damage.
Oh, attack range bonus. Never mind. Yeah, so 90 extra damage. I mean, even 50 for 30 gold, 30 mana is pretty good. So I think you still do this. And then yeah, you just pull, and you just
Yeah, this is like one of those situations where you just try to get as much as you can because you're not gonna you can't magically miraculously start killing people with anti-mage. You can like drain their mana.
Yeah.
And then like if there's a rotation up here by Spirit Breaker, then you can kill them. But you want to just like pull through and stack. You probably honestly want to stack it and then pull.
Yeah.
In this game, that's what I would probably go for.
Yeah, don't just pull the first one. Definitely, I agree that stacking is better. Just because
you can't pull through against Ogre; he'll contest you.
Yeah,
but exactly. You want to stack it because you want to stop them from because they don't pressure you. They can't kill you.
Right.
So stacking is fine. And if you're causing the Ogre to come over there, well, that's just the way it is. At least anti-mage will be free farming, and then you're doing your job.
Yeah, this is a game where you're totally fine as long as the anti-mage is not just feeding. As long as he's getting last hits, like you're doing your job well enough.
Yep. You could stack right now, too.
Yeah, go either stack this or this. One of those two camps.
Oh my god, he's going to do it. Oh my god, Hawkillionaire, what the... Every replay. Dude, you're a good support, actually. You're a solid support. Other than the Zeus thing.
Yeah.
Other than the Zeus thing.
So right here, I probably wouldn't pull this. Although with the wave pushed up this
far... With it pushed up that far, yeah,
the wave pushed up this far, you actually can pull through. So you do pull through. I think this is... Yeah, you're not going to pull.
Come on, Hawkillionaire. What are you doing?
Amateur.
This is still way above like the rating that he's at.
Yeah.
Just the concept of like pulling and stacking on timings and dewarding and.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you're sending double waves into them once again. This is similar to the last replay or the other support replay we were looking at. They shouldn't be getting double waves. Like DK Ogre doesn't apply any pressure. Anti-Mage is totally fine. You're totally fine. Neither of you will die. Yep. Look at Anti-Mage. He's literally full HP, full mana.
Yeah, so this is another double wave that you're sending. So you absolutely need to be pulling through if the Ogre's not contesting you. If the Ogre is contesting you, then you stack the small camp once or twice, and then you pull into that, and all the creeps die every time.
It's a trade-off, though. Like, if he's contesting you, and you're sending him double waves because of that, it's like he had to take time in order to contest you for that to occur. So you're costing him strictly more to do the same thing in the worst case.
Dude, I kind of feel like I'm watching myself support right now. Like, going for the bounties exactly at 5, smoking to the mid to get a ward down, get back to your lane quickly. All the conceptual stuff is there, for sure.
You can kill the Ogre. Maybe the DK, I guess. Maybe body block him now. Go for a body block. Go for a body block. Doesn't matter. You're going to kill him anyway.
Maybe.
Oh, no, you're... My god, you're actually not. Ah, there's a mistake. There's a mistake. All right, go back. All right, whatever, mind. Maybe he's dead anyway. Still, that's a huge overcommittal. Like you don't need to make it that hard.
He should have died back here for sure.
Like the moment you use your spells, Ancient Apparition doesn't do good right-click damage. Just body block. Let the other heroes do the right-click damage.
Yep.
Anti-Mage has Mana Break and Spirit Breaker has Bash. So like in general, this goes back to when we were talking about the Dazzle. Your job is a spellcaster this game. Like you cast spells. So you cast your spells, and then you do other actions that are going to help you in this gank. Especially with the stun. You set up for a really easy body block.
Also,
you just try to get...
camera positioning here.
Yeah, definitely an issue. But the stun allows you to move your camera, which is...
Right, exactly. That's the whole thing. It's like, he's stunned, so you have plenty of time to move your camera. Move it down a little bit so you can actually see where you're going. Right here. Okay. The recentering happened a little bit late.
I would just run like way close to the tower to give you opportunity to body block him.
Hmm.
Like you don't want to be just sitting next to the Anti-Mage and the Spirit Breaker. Like these guys are getting in your way.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Of course they are because they're melee heroes, right? So like you just want to put yourself in a position where like while he's stunned, put yourself at an angle where if he does get away from these two heroes, you can walk in front of him, body block him, or then you can right click him. But like you can use this time to set up for movement that will allow you for the exact same amount of eventual right clicks or body blocking.
Probably more right clicks. If you run over here, then you can right click him as he's running to you, and then you start body blocking him.
Right, but all I'm saying is it takes time to run to that location, so it's like
right.
You know, like it's the potential of right clicks is higher, but the minimum right clicks is exactly the same.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Okay. Cool. So what do you do next? Say now,
I like the wards. The wards are great.
yeah, the wards are great. I think now it's
Oh my
probably
God.
time. Okay, so that was, you probably just saw that he was low. So that rotation is good. I'd say now it's probably time to go recover your safe lane equilibrium though.
Pull, yeah.
Yeah,
Radiant's middle tower is
be over here. Also, I think at this point it's probably irrelevant to right click the DK. It'll
Yeah,
let the
yeah,
HP
yeah.
regen. This is,
Unless you're committing to kill him.
yeah, this
you're
is
just
just
wasting
a waste
mana.
of mana. We do get the pull on. And then I would not stand here. I would go stand over here. But my solo experience.
Yeah, there's no reason to like he doesn't need help in this lane. It's just about getting your own farm. This guy's free farming.
Yeah.
Well, he actually should be, but he's not because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe it's because of the whole double waves thing.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, and the fact that the creep wave spent a lot of time here after you guys dove past the 2 tower.
A lot of the time, if you get kills, there's not a lot of CSing happening.
Yep.
But which has been happening, which is okay.
You guys are going for another kill, and level 5 ogre is your target. Okay.
I mean, it's better than DK.
Yeah.
Nice bash. Oh my God.
Feels good.
I don't think you have enough time to body block him here. I would just right click him.
Oh!
Oh!
Where's that right click going? Okay, at least I get the kill.
under attack.
Then again, I would just go back and pull. Like,
Killing them doesn't accomplish much at this point.
yeah, being here just doesn't really make any sense. And you can see, like, you're level 5, your anti-mage is level 6, but this guy could be, like, level 8 by now. He'd be, like, level 5 still anyway, if you're pulling through.
Well, the non-pull-throughs have, like, restricted his farm by, like, half. Like,
Yeah.
Jug is totally free farming bot. He's 51 CS.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
God, that's a nice stack. Zeus can farm that. You definitely want to be like, hey, Zeus, get up here, man, because they could farm it.
Yep, with the DK.
And it's not his job to... It's not his job to know that that stack is there. There's no way he's going to be paying attention to that information.
Kind of an
Goodness.
awkward rotation. Okay, so why are you going? What is the
I would focus on getting 6 if I were you. It's such a power spike.
yeah, what is the purpose behind going mid here?
Well, AA just isn't a good. AA just doesn't rotate. Like if you're 6, maybe, or if you smoke with the Spirit Breaker,
Yeah.
you're just like 100 damage nuke. That's it. You're kind of useless.
Yeah. I mean, you do amp your Zeus's damage quite a bit, but
No,
so,
I mean, who cares? That doesn't matter.
yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. AA basically has like 3 states in the first 10 minutes. One is he's either doing chilling touch on heroes that he can bully, or he's pulling, or he is pulling to get 6. Like those are the he's pulling to either control the lane, or it's basically you're either right clicking with chilling touch or you're pulling to get 6. Those are like the 2 things. If you can't harass people and get kills in the lane, you should just try to get 6 as quickly as possible, because that's when you can actually really contribute, especially against these heroes. Okay, so what else did he say? Well, he just wanted to cover the high tanky regen people. The answer is really just like,
Don't lane against
yeah,
them.
just don't harass them.
Kill them or pull and pull through.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay. Next replay.
It's like people think that Viper's cancer right now, and I agree. I think Viper's broken, but a good answer to Viper, just kill him. Just kill him or don't lane against him. Like, you cannot trade better than a Viper, so trying to trade into a Viper does not happen.
Yeah.
Same with the DK. There's no way with these heroes that you do enough damage to a DK. It's a waste of mana, so just don't do it. There are other ways of gaining resources in Dota.
Yeah, I think it's just a big ego thing with Dota players. They feel like they can somehow outplay through every matchup no matter what. And it's just like, you can outplay through every matchup, but you just have to do something different. You can't just like somehow miraculously do more right click damage than anybody else in the game.
Dude, I called my bank like hours ago, and they said they'd call. They said they'd call me. My account is locked, and I can't use my bank information. And they just didn't call me. I've had people say that, like, you know, my girlfriend will be like, "Oh, I'll call you later," and she doesn't call me, and it's like, well, that kind of, you know, but it's people. But like a bank,
Yeah,
like fuck you, bank. Come
pretty,
on,
that's pretty bad.
what on earth? It's like, oh, I'll call you later. I got stood up by a bank.
You want to give us your bank information, like your PIN and all that stuff, and
Sure,
maybe your
yeah.
credit card number? And
1337-6969.
that's not a real number.
Hey, have you ever spelled 5318008 on a calculator and then turn it upside down?
Yeah, there's a whole script for that where you actually do all these calculations. There's a story that goes through it, and then you end up with
bullshit.
that. No, seriously, somebody showed that to me when I was in like
I'm just kidding. I
5th
believe
grade, and then you took 2 calculators and you put them together, and then you have a full set.
Listen, man, relax. I get it.
You have a full set like this. Oh, you can't see my camera. You'll see it on stream.
Okay. I'll watch the whole stream just so I can see that moment. But I have to know what's set up for that moment, so I'm going to watch the entire stream.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
All right, so Code Rad says Shadow Shaman support, 1k MMR. I was playing Shadow Shaman position 5, saw some of your videos where you guys said you need to stop leeching experience from your carry as a support. This is my first time trying to apply this sort of playstyle. I'm not sure if I was doing this correctly. Thanks a lot for the help. Cool. It'd be pretty easy to see whether you're doing it correctly or not.
Yeah, I like this. I like, for future weeks, if any of y'all have questions like that where you're applying something and you want to know if it's correct, incredibly important to like
check
put
in.
to learn things, put them in the game, and then check to see if you're doing it correctly. In fact, I recently was messaged by an alchemy fan, and he said he was a teacher, and he basically said he went to a conference, and there was like a doctor speaking at it, and the doctor was going on about how humans have to experience things in order to learn them. Like you can literally look in the neurology, like you can look in the brain and see that you'll only learn things if you actually read it in a textbook and then go do it. Reading it in a textbook is not enough. Like, it's just the human way of doing things. So looking at replays like this is a really great way of internalizing things. And I totally butchered my explanation for it, but this guy had a great explanation, and I'm gonna read whatever study. I asked him for any book recommendations. He didn't give me any. Just ignored me. but in any case, I thought it was very interesting. And
I don't
basically,
think you should be trading here. You don't trade better than these heroes, so you should just not trade with them. So now you're starting.
Clinks bristle. Goddamn.
You're starting the lane at like half HP when you could just be at full HP. Like, there's 0 chance you get that rune without dying. So
you can. It goes back to what I was saying in the previous replay. Like, you can, when the enemy team has better harass than you or better sustain than you can kill them, sure. But if they better sustain than you can't out harass them. Like, it's just a numbers game. Like, their numbers are better than your numbers, so you only commit to them if you can kill them. I'm not saying don't commit. I'm saying you can do that. It's just that for the purpose of killing, because if you don't burst these guys, they'll just destroy you with the harass.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I would say that already you're not applying what we were talking about very well. Just to be completely blunt, like,
I disagree.
You should realize, really, you disagree.
I disagree. I think at 34 seconds, it's the first wave, and you should be double denying with your right click damage right now. Okay. Shadow Shaman.
That's fair.
Like, they should not get this. This range creep is free for you. Look how close it is to you.
Yeah.
Like, fair. You should just prepare to deny this range creep. Look at this. I mean, you could have denied it right now. Deny it right there.
Yeah.
And getting 1 range creep gives you level 2 first. You get level 2 first. You Ether Shock. He spins, or he crits them once. He spins on them. You kill them. You win. Like, that's the lane right there. Is 1 single range creep deny.
Sure. I also don't think that where you're standing is correct. That's kind of what I was getting at. Like, I don't think you should be standing here. I think you should be down here. Because
I think you can be to the left if the Clinks is not just right clicking you from the trees.
Exactly. Like, if the Clinks is trying to right click you, you should be somewhere else.
Yeah, you can go to the bottom. Force him to walk around. Think of it like he can't walk through your tower, so he has to walk in this weird arc to get to you, which will take him longer, and then you just walk back Just keep walking back and forth and go for denies. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, and the whole point that I was trying to make is you should be standing like here because he's up here, and then once these creeps get low, like, okay, you go stand over here so you don't eat a bunch of right clicks, but you're healthy enough when you need to walk up and eat a couple of right clicks to get a deny. You can. So right now you should be over here and now walking up to deny this creep. Now you should be over here, and then you walk up and deny this creep. Back over here, and you deny this creep. I definitely agree that you should have like 3 denies in the first.
I mean, that's why Shadow Shaman is like picked a lot of the time, is because he can just sit there and deny with 77 damage, which is an absurd number. But like, if you get level 2 before them, you just, I mean, the Clinks, look at his HP. Like, look how low is 480. Look at Jug's spin at level 1. Hold alt.
450. Yep.
450.
So that plus Shackles damage is a kill.
Plus Ether Shock.
Yep.
Easily a kill.
Yep.
If you guys get, so you do get level 2 first. Go on them right now. Go on them right now. Yeah, there you go. Oh, nice.
There we go. Perfect.
Oh, cool. Shit. Well, at least I was right.
Yeah. Okay. Grab stick. That's good.
That's fine.
This positioning is a little scary, just because you're so out in the open. Could have like walked up and attacked from. Yeah. So I'm gonna go back because you can accomplish the same thing that you do up here, which is to attack the bristleback. If you had walked through here, and then this is way safer to attack him from and get back under your tower than this. This is like, you're basically playing as if you're on the other team right now.
I also think that like, you guys can kill him, but okay, so you have a mango. So if you just grip him, but the Clinks is there hitting you, so that's like the problem.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was,
and that's why being down here is better, because the Clinks can't hit you.
So like, kind of in relation to that, it seems like this here was to harass. It wasn't to kill. And if you're just harassing, just go around. Because it's like a slow, methodical thing, right? Because harassing is not like, oh, I need to immediately cast a spell on him. It's like, you have the mana's still going to be there, you have mana regen items, like, eventually you can harass this guy. He wasn't really harassing your Jug. Yep. So, it's like, you can just take a little bit longer time of doing that, and you don't have mana to continue, you don't need to use it off cooldown. It's not like Scarif Mage, where you just constantly have mana and chucking it out. As soon as you use that, you have no mana for anything. So it's like, you could just walk around and use it, and then you have no mana again. In fact, if you walked around and used it, you'd probably have more HP because you'd be regenerating, you'd have more mana, you might be able to use a second spell. But it doesn't matter. It's like, what I'm saying is, like, the timing doesn't matter in this case. Like, you had such little mana that you're not just spamming. Right now you could use Ether Shock off cooldown, and I get why you would walk up and be like, oh, I gotta get him as soon as possible, so the next time I can get him with another one as quickly as possible and win the harass race. But that was just like, you committed to harass with low enough mana that the only commitment you should make is if you're going to kill. That's kind of what I'm trying to say here, is that...
God, what is this bug doing?
God only knows.
He's going to farm the small camp that you just pulled to instead of blasting the creeps. Okay.
So I don't think this is a lane you can ever leave Juggernaut, just because it's too... Unless he's huge. If you really destroy this lane, maybe, but... It's too, like, physical damage heroes.
Yeah. I do think that the pulling is okay, but you should be pulling through.
Yeah, pulling is great. You can pull all you want here. You can kill him, though. I like that you're pinging. I'm sure you can kill him with Jugs level 3.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. Okay, so your kill timing has been pretty good so far.
Or equivalent to mine, which might be bad. Who knows? So you go get the bounties after killing and ward. Yeah, this is great. This is good shit.
This ward it's okay. I think I'd prefer it maybe over here, just so you can keep track of where the Clinks is. But
I think you want to place a lane ward. So you would want vision of the tower. That's like the most important thing, is like the tower.
Here.
Yeah, so you can see people who rotate into the lane.
Yeah.
Because if you put it there, you see people who are rotating from the left and the tower. Then you kill Sniper, which is great, or you try to kill Sniper.
I'm not going to kill Sniper, because Drow is
too
low.
Whatever, it's fine. It's a rotation, although it is like a little unfortunate to rotate to a guy who's low.
Yeah.
That is something you should definitely look at, but... Clinks is just heading over. What am I watching? He's going to kill you. Oh my god. Support clinks. Oni.
I think it's
Yeah, I
just
think
secondary core clinks. I'm pretty sure they're both cores in this bottom lane.
I think the rotation off of the bounty rune is fine.
Yeah.
It's just that the
Just make
like you
sure
can
that
see
you check the lane to see if there's actual kill potential or not.
yeah, but you are right. Like the jug is getting very good far. Like the jug is almost level 6 down here. Like in terms of leaving the lane and giving your jug space when he can take it.
Yep.
Other than when he ran over like an idiot to the camp, you're doing a good job. Like
Yeah.
in terms of you're doing in terms of what you asked, you're doing excellent.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, totally. And like right here, I mean, sure, you're kind of here a little bit, but at the same time, now
It's
you're
impossible.
over here, and Jug is just like, he's getting not solo experience, but he's like, you're not helping him deny, which is the important point at this point in the game. Like, because there's nobody contesting him. He can get all the denies. He doesn't need any help to do that.
you don't want to be showing anyway there. It's like you're sitting in the trees. You're sitting in the trees here because you're not sure if they're going to contest him. You're not sure if you should pull. And that's fine. To have that indecision is fine. Sometimes people will sit between areas figuring out what to do, or because they don't know if they're going to be... Like, what happens if the jug gets gone on? You need to be there.
Exactly.
It's actually fine to sit in the trees and wait if you're doing it for the purpose of this guy is unsafe. So now you head over, get the room because you know that he's safe, and you make a rotation. Yeah, this is perfect. Fuck yeah. Good shit.
Yep.
Good shit to see.
I think that you could have potentially waited and pulled first, just because the lane is far up here.
I mean, Jug can pull himself though. I think like nobody's even contesting him. Yeah, I think
is there
the other stuff
here? Probably
the other stuff we talked about is like criticisms, but in terms of what you asked, yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect. You've done good supporting in that regard.
Yep.
Your kill timings have been good too. Your rotations have been good. This has been pretty good.
Now
I
you
think.
go. Right now.
I would probably hit him first, but it's such a small. Drow should also be walking up to the high ground. What is she doing? She missed 2 of her her ulti hit twice. That's 240 damage.
That missed. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Top lane. What do you think about this rotation? Moving up to the top.
I think it's pretty fine. The laning stage is kind of devolving.
Yeah, Jug is he still has the creep wave under his tower, which is great.
Yeah, I think this is fine.
What the fuck?
What?
It's 8 minutes in. He has nothing but a stout shield. He's going naked. Okay, well, let's be honest. He came over to contest your pull, so I would not expect any less than a naked Battle Fury.
I have nothing to say. Dude, if you had phase boots, you'd just be like killing the bristle right now.
Yeah, over and over and over. Okay, now you're out of mana. Going back to the base. Got 400 gold. I think you should spend some of this gold. You guys have 1 ward on the map. I think you should buy a couple wards and probably a sentry to put for mid at this point because there's a game. Or a sentry. Yeah, probably sentry in mid.
You can also just get like a windlace. That helps a lot on Shaman. People go windlace mana boots.
Yeah. But yeah. Ward, sentry, windlace. That's
Windlace is actually like an insane item now, by the way. It's different from Boots. Boots gives you percentage, Windlace gives you stack 20. So Windlace is actually very good, especially on low movement speed heroes like Shadow Shaman. That's why it's like it's actually a core item now. Windlace used to be just essentially a shittier Boots. It's not that way. They're two separate items now.
Yep.
One's static, one is percentage.
Yep. So having Windlace actually makes your boots better. What you're trying to say.
Precisely. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, I wanted to make a point that stuff like this, when you're playing position 5 support and you have like a chunky item, an item that requires a big chunk of gold, you should probably not usually save up for it. I think that those are the kind of items that you buy off the back of winning a team fight or pushing a tower. Or getting like a couple of kills. And since you're a hero especially that can do that, I don't think you should ever really try to be like, oh, I gotta save up for my energy booster. 900 gold of nothing that I'm doing right now. Like, if you had Dust, you could just kill his Clinks like anytime he shows in the lane. If you had a Sentry, you could protect your Drow from Clinks rotating. if you placed a ward up here, you could allow your drow to lane better against the sniper. If you had a windlace, you could do all of the above, but do it faster than you're doing it now. And
Yeah, so I'm testing this in a lobby, and on Pudge, if you have a windlace tranquil boots or a windlace in regular boots versus tranquil boots,
just flat
just
tranquil.
on its flat tranquil boots, you get a little bit of a movement speed buff from tranquil boots, but it's like 4 movement speed for 350 gold.
With the tranquils active?
Yes, with the tranquils active. If the tranquils are not active, you lose movement speed by building tranquil boots.
Than just having a windlace plus boots.
Than just having a windlace plus boots. Yes, let me hit.
What about tranquils plus a windlace? That's another way.
Well, that's different. So yeah.
How much do you get with that though?
Tranquils plus a windlace?
Yeah.
356 if it's broken. So you get like, if it's broken, you get like 2 more movement speed.
Okay.
But yeah, if your tranquil boots are broken, it's actually better to have the windlace than it is to have the full tranquils.
Interesting.
God damn. No wonder people aren't building fucking tranquil boots.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, I would say, as far as your question, I think you did a pretty good job here. You helped protect your Jug, despite him being a moron. You gave him a pretty good lane, despite him being a moron, which is like all you can do sometimes as a support. The only thing I would say at this point is that you have rotated to try and kill the sniper like 4 times now. And it's just pretty clear to me at this point that your drow is not going to help you kill the sniper. Like, your drow is just not a good enough player to get kills on the sniper, even with you making good rotations. So I'd probably just not go there anymore. Like, you can only force somebody to be so good, and the rest of it has to come from them. And if it's just pretty clear that it's not going to happen, then you can just devote your resources elsewhere, like stacking the jungle, or even potentially just going up here and killing the Terrorblade. So, yep.
I'm testing shit in the lobby.
Anything else to say? Should we take any from chat, or should we end the game and end the stream? I've been streaming for 3 hours at this point.
I'm dead from today, man. I casted all day.
Yep, I casted this morning for like 6 hours, 7 hours. And then did this stream for 3 hours, and then I shoveled snow in between. So I think we're going to call it here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks, as always, to our Patreon supporters for being part of Dota Alchemy and allowing us to do this and help everybody learn. Make sure that you check out the VOD of this on Patreon. And if we have some really good clips, we might put those on YouTube as well. Everybody who watched on YouTube, no pressure, but if you want your replays 100% reviewed next week, you should check out our Patreon, which is in the description below.
Patreon.com/Dota Alchemy.
Yep. What's the best shoe for Jug in this patch?
Phase boots.
Most likely phase in every scenario. Sometimes you could go for treads if you're just going to battle Fury and farm all the time. All right, guys. We will see you next week. Take care. Enjoy your games.